Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and this is Mads from Mads Gaming News Channel, and we are going to celebrate Xbox's 11-month anniversary, Xbox Series X 11-month anniversary today. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the good things. So, Mads, do you have any thoughts on the anniversary, on how the experience has been for you?
Well, to be honest with you, you kind of surprised me with that anniversary, to be honest with you. So I didn't even I didn't know that really. Yeah, I mean, experience was well, it evolved, I would say, right? That's for sure. But
Definitely.
I mean, I guess we can get into more details and stuff later, right? But maybe it's not necessarily the Xbox is not really showing all its kind of, let's say, glory yet, right? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm super happy with the experience, right? And I've got both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, so I can kind of compare both really. And so far I can't really complain. 60 frames per second, great performance, 120 frames per second in many games as well. So
yeah.
Do you want to touch on any particular thing about the console or just general?
Well, a lot of people kind of see, this little argument that, the PlayStation 5 is outperforming the Xbox, or things are running better on the PlayStation. And, me, I have the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox too. So I've went actually back and bought a lot of those titles. A lot of those titles have been upgraded on the Xbox and now run either better on Xbox or almost identical as the PlayStation 5 version. And then, you get Far Cry 6 that just launched. When did this come out? Just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the biggest gap I've seen so far. And the reason why I talk about this is because Assassin's Creed, one of the notorious first games that really that they came out and said that it was running better, they're both made by Ubisoft. And to see this big of a gap in performance and resolution and stuff just kind of makes you wonder, wow,
Yeah, but you say that's the biggest gap, but that's not necessarily accurate. You're talking about the biggest gap in terms of resolution, right? Because performance both offer 60 frames per second. Graphics is pretty much identical, right? So we're talking about really resolution, right? But
resolution and the screen tearing. Well, I mean, that could be just because of the VRR, but there's a pretty decent amount of screen tearing in that PlayStation 5 version when you're driving. It gets pretty bad.
Xbox get a little bit as well, but I mean, VRR actually helps a lot. That's for sure, right? But if you really want to talk about the gap in terms of performance, I mean, and graphics and stuff, there's been some games that kind of showed similar kind of results already, right? And even going back, beginning of this year, like Hitman 3, for example, right?
Yeah, Hitman 3.
There was a big difference because Xbox had
native 4K.
Exactly. Yeah. While PlayStation was 1800p or something like that, right? And that was both were 60 frames per second.
And I think the PlayStation one had medium shadows, and the other one had ultra or something.
Yeah. So I think the problem with many of these games is that we haven't really had too many big AAA games that were showing a big difference. I can name a couple of other titles. Outriders, for example, right?
Yeah, Outriders does look a lot better.
I remember that. I'm sure that people still remember the Outriders demo that was actually, that had very wobbly performance, 55 frames per second, something like that.
But and now it's running, it's locked.
Actually, it did run locked 60 frames per second pretty much even after the launch because they fixed that issue, right?
Right.
But Outriders actually offers much higher resolution, right? And
Right.
there's a number of games like that, right? And like even in games where the resolution may be the same, Xbox may offer like better performance. Tales of Arise, for example,
Oh yeah, gosh.
it's 4K 60 frames per second, right?
Right.
Is it? Hold on,
Well, see,
4K.
I bought that one on both consoles too. So on the
Mhm.
PlayStation 5 version, that thing's running, about 40, well, about 50 up to 60. On the Xbox version with the VRR, it was a nice, smooth experience all the way through. I
Mm.
didn't see any real major problems
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. There's like two modes. I know that in there is like unlocked frame rate kind of mode at 4K. I think
Yeah.
okay. So I
We
think
got like
there's
1620p
yeah.
and
So
and
there's two
60.
modes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, the mode I think the 4K mode just basically runs better on Xbox Series X, and it offers like 20 or 30% better performance, basically, right? Like
Right.
as in more frames per second, because
Yeah.
it's offers, but it's kind of it's a very fair comparison because both consoles actually running at the same resolution.
Yeah.
So like Xbox has been showing more kind of the more power kind of thing,
Yeah.
for a while now. The problem with Xbox was obviously we can talk about the tools and updates that were provided and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a big thing as well. But I think developers are kind of starting to get used to these tools as well. So the tools were a problem, on their own, right? Meaning that they
Right.
were not really well made, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
also, even developers were saying that they had to learn new tricks with Xbox Series S and X, right?
Right.
So, and on top of that, you've got two consoles to optimize for. That takes a little bit more time as well.
Do you
So,
think do you think most of the optimization is really just fallen toward the Xbox Series S end of the spectrum though, and that's what they're trying to learn more of? And now that we're starting to see like a lot of these tools, because we've I don't know if you've ever heard of Black Desert Online, but that one's finally
Mhm.
got FSR support in it. You can
Oh,
use
really?
Fidelity FX resolution. And the thing with that game is now you can actually run it at 60 frames a second with the FSR, and it kind of does help with the performance because that was a really heavy game. But
Mhm.
now it also has Dolby Vision support too, so it even looks better now. But they are doing a native next gen patch for it, so yeah, there's just a lot of things. I mean, Xbox giving us so many upgrades for all these experiences that we've already paid for. It's like them respecting our investment in their ecosystem, and that's a big thing for me. When it comes to enhanced backwards compatibility, that was the biggest reason I made sure I had my Xbox day one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so this is big thing, and it just show because like Xbox is obviously is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft is a big PC company. Let's face it,
yeah,
right? And that just goes to and that just shows, right? Because like whenever they I mean OG Xbox was basically pretty much like a PC in a smaller box, right?
right,
They pretty much used PC parts like on a new board, and they used custom operating system.
yeah,
Obviously then they went a little bit more custom route. But what I'm what I mean is that like they've got this PC kind of like approach to it. That's why backwards compatibility was actually quite important for them. That's why they keep adding like these PC like features, right? Because you never
right.
heard about like freezing and these kind of things on the console, right? And
Yeah, never.
PlayStation don't support them, don't support these features at all.
Still yet,
and
exactly.
like and I was even like scratching my head like last generation, right? Like
Oh
Xbox
yeah,
One, like OG Xbox had 120 hertz support, right? Or
right.
or FreeSync support, right? And I was like, I mean, why?
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
real.
what for? There's no 120 frames games. But what
Yeah,
But what they were doing back then, they were kind of getting ready for this generation because they knew what was coming. That's why
Yeah.
it's taking PlayStation so long to implement these features, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, we just barely got the ability to upgrade our freaking SSDs. And now
yeah.
there's a lot of confusion over that too, you know, like, well, which one should I get? Which one should I get? You know, and it's like, man, everyone that Mark Cerny and PlayStation or Seagate came out and said that they would work great, the scalpers already got them all. Scalpers already doubling the price on the ones with the heat sinks on them. Have you noticed that? I'm like, Sony, man, they just keep making every freaking mistake. And then you hear the Jim Ryan interview. He's starting to sound a lot more like Phil Spencer now, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say that they are making mistakes per se, because like in their own kind of ecosystem, like what they've built is very like Sony like, I guess, right? And
Right.
and this is where I see like the biggest difference in approach to how they do things, right? Both Xbox and Microsoft, right? Like
Right.
when you look at Xbox, it's like very feature heavy and that kind of stuff, because it has all to do with Microsoft's Windows and all these features. Whatever gets implemented in Windows, they want to have on Xbox, and whatever gets implemented in Xbox, they want that on Windows as well, right? Like,
Right.
look at direct storage, all these kind of APIs and that kind of stuff. That's not even in Windows 10. That's only Windows 11 feature, right?
Yeah, I just upgraded to Windows 11 last night.
Yeah, I've been using actually Windows 11 for like 2 months, I think, and it's actually good. It's good. It's good operating system.
I'm still trying to get used to the whole thing because everything's kind of switched up, and like my layout is a little different now. So it is kind of weird. I'm like, wow, what's going on with this? But
yeah,
it'll take a minute.
It takes few days to get used to, like even small things like copy paste kind of icons. They look totally different and stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I was like,
too.
I was trying to copy some files from one folder to the other. I was like, what the hell? Where the hell is the copy paste thing, right? Yeah, but
after I made a new video yesterday, I was like, what the heck? And I couldn't get it to work. It like changed the format of the video, so I had to upload it directly to YouTube. I couldn't run it through my software or something. I didn't know how to figure it out, and I just wanted to get that video out. So it's been fun, but I like it. It's supposed to be more evolved around gaming too, so that should definitely make it better when they start when everything gets more implemented, across Xbox and Windows 11. It should be a pretty more I have faith that it'll be a more seamless experience, just like the Xbox Series X has been from the transition from Xbox One over. It's been amazing, loading your games on their saves right there. Had to go through this whole thing with Death Stranding just to upload my save on the PlayStation 5, and I was like, oh my gosh, man, wow, Sony needs to definitely do something about this. It's just been
that's the thing with them, is that like they've got a bit different approach to things, and which, I mean, like all these updates and upgrades, like the saves and stuff like that, that's kind of annoying, right? I mean, I guess for somebody who just buys a PlayStation 5 and will never bother to go back to the his own like old games and stuff, right? I guess that's not going to be a problem. But if you want to play some of the older titles and that kind of stuff, and you want to still use these saves, that's a problem, right? And I lost all my saves for PlayStation 4, to be honest with you, right? Because I never got them into the cloud, right?
You never paid your $60 fee, did you?
No, exactly. And the thing is, like, I just copied all my settings and all their saves on a USB and stuff, right? Yeah. But the thing is that, like, I lost it. I can't find this USB anymore, right? So man. I don't know what happened to that, right? So
it is such a pain in the butt with the PlayStation. They do hold your saves. All you got to do is pay your fee. They will hold your saves in storage. It's kind of weird. I let my thing lapse for a year because I was just playing way too much Xbox, and then when I got it back, my saves were still there. So I was like, oh, cool. It's not too bad. But you got to pay your fee. $60 just to access your saves on the PlayStation Network is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I did pay for PlayStation Plus a few times because I've there was a couple of games I was kind of interested in that kind of stuff, right? But the thing is, like, it never. I mean, I was just too lazy to kind of, like, because you have to actually synchronize your saves anyway, like manually. It's not automatic, even if you actually even if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Oh yeah,
kind of
you have to
weird.
go in. You have to go into this thing. You have to go to the storage. You have to download everything back onto your console. And if you start a game before you download that, it automatically overwrites that. So that's what happened to my Dark Souls 3 save, and that really made me so mad. I had already beat that game, and then I was like, oh man, I don't really want to start this thing all over again. I just wanted to go back in there and play around, but oh man,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
PlayStation has a way of making things harder. They do it to themselves though. Every single generation of PlayStation, because I've been a PlayStation guy for 25 years. It was actually 2016 when I first got that Xbox One S, and like I started watching your channel, and I was like, all right, man, you kind of helped me break down those that Sony PlayStation Warrior freaking
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, between you and Cold Eastwood and like a couple other ones, I was like, wow, I'd watch your guys' channel, and because I was hardcore Sony
So
fanboy. I used to manage
what? Sorry, what got you into Xbox then? Like, because 2016 was actually.
Forza Blizzard
Oh,
Mountain.
okay.
I'm a racing fan. I saw that Blizzard Mountain and I was like, okay, I'm buying it. I bought an Xbox just so I could play that. That's insane. It came with the Gears 4 and then all the other gears. So I was playing those too, and then I started buying like a couple more games for it. And then when Xbox One X launched, and I had already had a 4K TV with my PS4 Pro, I was like, oh man. So I went and got that, and then from that year forward, everything, all my third party games were bought on the Xbox since then.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, wow, man. And I'm so grateful. Honestly, I'm grateful to channels like you and Cold Eastwood, because had I not broken that down, then I would still be sitting here with one console, having to choose. And now I just buy them both and I don't have to choose. I get to play whatever I want, the best version of whatever I want when it comes out. I don't have to I don't have to sit and be I don't have to sit and worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we are kind of lucky that we can own both consoles and stuff. But, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that obviously don't have access to that. Like, whether that may be due to the money constraints or something like that, right? Like, but.
Right.
But then, and this is why I kind of like Xbox, for, like, not forcing stuff on you, because,
Yeah.
like, I mean, look what they are doing with the cloud right now, right? I mean, if
Yep.
you are a PlayStation 4 5 owner, right, or Switch owner, and you don't necessarily want to buy a console, or you cannot afford to buy a console, or you cannot just you can't just get one because, like, there's shortages everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can play these games on PC. If your PC is not powerful enough, you can play these games via xCloud, right?
Right.
Funny enough, like, xCloud actually runs great right now,
In
because
Poland or where
yeah,
you're
yeah,
at?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like, was it like 2 months ago or something like that? Like, I was testing it out a little bit when they actually started moving from Xbox One blades to Xbox Series X blades, and
Yeah.
not every game was actually on Series X blades yet, right? And I
Right.
remember I played Gears 5, and it was nice, smooth 1080p, 60 frames per second, fast load times, and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? But then I switched to Forza Horizon 4, for example. It was a slow, buggy mess, basically, right?
That's always that's been my experience with the Forza game. Every time I've tried it on xCloud, it's always been kind of like a little hit and miss. I finally got Dirt 5 or Dirt 2.0 working pretty decent on it to where you could actually drive and stuff, but I think racing games are just a little bit more um they need that. They need
Yeah,
that lower
probably.
latency. They
When was
definitely have to have.
when was the last time you tried to play Forza?
Gosh, probably about a month and a half ago.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about because like that was still running on Xbox
Xbox
One
One.
Blade. Now, if you go and try, it's a nice, smooth experience, right? It's
Yeah,
I mean, like obviously, except the image quality because that it streams,
yes,
it's compressed and stuff. But at least it's 1080p. But like it's nice and smooth, 60 frames per second. Loadings, times are very short as well. The only thing what I notice is, and I don't really know why. Um, I tested it on both via browser and the Xbox app on my PC, and for whatever reason, my Xbox app is crap. Like, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I get laggy stream, audio issues, and that kind of
yeah.
stuff. It's just like not nice experience. But when I switch to browser, it works just fine, right?
It works
So I
better
mean,
that way.
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there's some settings and stuff like I was contacted by Xbox support, so we are kind of working on figuring out what's going on. Maybe that's my Windows 11 operating system or something like that. It's still in beta, so so who
Yeah.
knows, right?
Well, I mean, the thing that I'm most like excited about, because you remember when Crackdown 3 came out, right? And
Hmm.
you remember them talking about, oh, the power of the cloud and all of that. And then Crackdown 3 came out and it was just garbage. The online was garbage. But then now we have Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is not garbage, which is truly amazing. So I am really excited to see what Xbox brings to what Xbox brings to the platform through that alone. I feel like that is more next gen than any resolution or anything that either of these systems are going to come with. Imagine the. I mean, I keep imagining like AI powered by the cloud that could have, like, say you're playing an open world game, you're Assassin's Creed or something, and all of the NPCs in there are powered by that AI to where they actually do things like regular people or create circumstances inside that game that could change, that could actually change the circumstances and affect your player to create like missions or whatever, just other kinds of things. That's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to and hoping that will be a possibility, because the AI, let's face it, AI in games right now is not really that great. It doesn't matter what game you play. It's got a simple program because it's running natively on your hardware. Whereas if they started running that program on a cloud server and then streaming that into your Xbox or whatever while you're playing your game natively, I think that could alter the experience far more than anything they got going on right now with AI having to run natively, off your CPU.
Yeah, I mean that is a possibility, but the only thing is that like that would have to be for games that would have to be like you would have to be online all the time, and obviously not everyone is fan of these, if you know what I mean. Like it
Yeah.
would work for MMOs and that kind of stuff, right? Not sure if that would work for like a standard like Assassin's Creed like kind of game where
Well, I mean,
most of the
with Assassin's Creed going free to play, I
yeah,
mean,
I know that's going to change. I know, right?
or at least like
But like,
streaming in like a whole
yeah,
continent or something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it would help
But
with Ubisoft.
you need to remember that also, like these games and like what we are getting right now. All these games have been created with that weak ass Jaguar cores, right? Like these all
Yeah.
these games still have to run on these last
Yeah.
gen consoles, right? So we haven't seen anything yet, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we started talking about the Xbox Series X experience, right? So I mean, I guess we can expand on that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I bought both consoles, Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 day one, right? And the
Right.
biggest upgrade for me, obviously, was higher resolutions in games, um, frames. So obviously, much better performance with
Oh yeah.
obviously I mean, on Xbox Series X at the very beginning, many games had, performance issues and that kind of stuff, right? So, but it's getting better now, and
Yeah.
obviously faster load times. Obviously, quick resume is a big thing. It's just a shame that not every game actually uses it. quite a lot of new games don't use quick resume, unfortunately.
I can tell you it works good with Far Cry 6.
Yeah,
it definitely works good with that one.
so that's good. Yeah, but those small things, right?
Right.
And where I'm going with it is that, like, we've got an upgrade, right? But these games still don't feel like a proper next gen, because they are not. They are still running on old game game engines, right?
Right.
And they are optimized mainly for the last generation consoles. What we are getting on Xbox Series S, X, and PlayStation 5 are just a quick updates,
Yeah.
right?
They're just basically resolutions and
Yeah.
frame rates. But I mean, even frame rates, and in a game like my first experience on Series X was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Being able to play that game at 60 frames a second completely changed that whole experience. Like, I can't play open world games at 30 frames a second anymore. It's insane. Just, I mean, even that. I mean, well, yeah, we really don't. I mean, what do we have on Xbox? We have Flight Simulator, Gears Tactics. I mean, I think that's Xbox's biggest thing is getting content right now, first party content. That's probably the thing that holds them back the most. I would like to see some good stuff from Xbox, but I don't expect them to reinvent the wheel, like right out of the gate. I mean, PlayStation isn't doing that. They're basically doing, I mean, iterations of like last games running at better frames a second. And I mean, they came out and touted the PlayStation 5 as the true next gen experience, and yet we're still just getting, we're basically getting the same. Like, neither one of them have been truly earth shattering at this point right now. But Deathloop, did you get a chance to play Deathloop?
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, Deathloop. It's a pretty good game. Like, I really like Deathloop. I like the way they designed that and everything. But I mean, for the most part, anything that they could do on Deathloop, they could still do on last gen hardware, except for the whole haptics and stuff.
It's not really a proper next gen game per se, right? And
Right.
even the graphics, like, I don't even understand why it's not on last gen consoles. And to be honest with you, like, looking from the graphics perspective, right? I mean, but like, when we talk about these proper next generation experiences, is that like, like when we're talking about physics or AI and stuff in games, right? It's still most of this stuff is still limited to these, low power kind of CPUs, right, on the last gen consoles. Actually, a lot of stuff developers had to move from the CPU to the GPU and stuff, right? So, but with this generation, that's going to change big time, because we've got a very good, capable kind of CPUs in these consoles. Finally, about time. And on top of that, remember that, like, machine learning is going to be a big thing this generation. And then I'm not even talking about only consoles, right? I'm talking about like in general. Everyone wants to use machine learning these days, right? Even in my work, right? We are kind of changing some of our processes to throw at machine learning and see what comes out, right? So really, machine learning is a big thing. And like, not sure if you noticed, but like, Intel now is going to release new GPUs soon, right? They are big on machine learning there as well, right?
I think that's kind of the future, though, because rendering natively is just too expensive. But if they can find a program to do that.
Yeah, but that's not only about graphics. It's, machine learning can help in many ways. And
like AI.
Exactly, physics, calculations, and that kind of stuff. Even when you look at the M1 chips for Apple, for the iMacs, and exactly 1/3 of this chip has been created with machine learning in mind, right? 1/3 of the chip is machine learning accelerator, right? Literally, and I mean, these Apple machines, they are not made for gaming. and they have general purpose kind of CPUs and hardware,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And they want to use that as well. So machine learning is going to transform gaming this generation, in my opinion. The problem is that like developers don't have the good processes yet. They are still figuring out how to use it, how to optimize for it and stuff, right?
I just don't think they've even got there. I think they're, because we've seen UE5, and that's like a next gen what's it called, engine for games.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as EA builds their engine and everybody else builds all their engines, that's probably when we're going to see stuff start taking more advantage of these consoles. But right now, yeah, like you said, they are still developed on last gen platforms. And I mean, we are starting to see higher fidelity visuals, especially on Far Cry 6. That looks amazing. I love that. I love the fact that we get so much more on-screen density, and it still looks good. Like seeing that game on Xbox Series X, like literally blows my mind. I'm like, wow, it's about time we're starting to see some good-looking things.
Yeah, I mean, and it will only improve, because like all these next gen features will just help developers to create like even words with even more detail and that kind of stuff, right? So
Oh yeah,
but like honestly, the thing that I'm most excited about is really like the performance which we kind of getting already, right?
yeah,
And all these improvements to AI and stuff, right? And like developers haven't really even figured out how to use it, to be honest with you. So it's
yeah.
probably going to take a while. I
I
know.
would say 3 years. Well, with COVID, maybe 4 years. Like it's always usually that 3 year point where we start getting stuff that looks better and feels better. And then like right at the end of the generation, we get all our best stuff. So it's like, oh man, do we really
Yeah,
have to
but
wait 7 more years?
yeah, but this generation is actually totally different to what like even last generation was. And
Yeah,
in a sense that if you compare Xbox 360 and Xbox One, or PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, yes, I mean, yes, these new consoles like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came with a little bit like better technology, right? But there was no like totally new technologies there, right? I mean,
right.
they came with more powerful GPUs. Yes,
Yeah,
there were some stuff new there, but it wasn't like, but it
they are.
wasn't like something that would have to force developers to create like a totally new engine, right?
Yeah,
So it's just like more powerful versions of the same, right? So it's
right.
like so that transition was actually easier for them, right? Because look at even the specs, right?
Yeah,
If you compare Xbox 360 to Xbox One, they went from half of gig of RAM to 8. So that's like 16 times more memory in the new console. If you look at the GPU, that was like 8 times more powerful GPU as well, right?
right.
But
Right.
CPU,
They
not
both, yeah.
really.
So I mean, like PlayStation actually took a step back from the cell chip. That
Yeah,
cell
well,
chip
yeah.
was,
It was roughly around the same, same kind of, capability, if you know what I mean, right? I mean,
yeah,
they are a bit different, right? But it's still.
yeah,
So, so, like in terms, that's why we didn't really get any progress in, in AI, physics, and that kind of stuff, because there was no extra hardware
yeah,
capability on that
exactly.
front, right? But like even if you look, if even if you compare the the memory and the GPU, the boost in terms of the raw power of these of memory or this GPU was like much greater. And
Yeah,
now going from Xbox, well, okay, I guess Xbox One X to Xbox Series X, we are getting like what, 2 times the T flops count, right?
yeah,
Obviously, there's stuff on top of that, right? And this is what's exciting, right? Is that in reality, it's not necessarily the hardware itself, but all these next gen features that will make a difference.
yeah,
Because this time around, developers, but the problem is that developers will have to make their games, their new game engines to take advantage of these new features.
Yeah.
And like things like mesh shading, which will be actually, uh, you know, really game changing. That
Well,
takes time.
we already saw how game changing that is with Doom Eternal. Being able to use, didn't they use the were they using mesh
VRS.
shaders or
No,
VRS?
VRS.
VRs. Oh yeah, mesh shaders are the ones that have the pop in. That mesh shaders are going to get rid of your pop in and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're going to
yeah,
transition
that too as
faster or
well.
better or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mesh shading is going to affect the geometry side of things, right? So you will, yeah, like we said, more
As you're
details,
getting
less.
closer, it'll be
Yeah,
the more detail and
it's where way more advanced. VRS is actually one of the features that is actually easier to implement. That's why
yeah.
we've already seen a couple of games that uses that. But that's like basic use of it as well.
Well,
So
I mean, think about it. VRS was enough to get Doom Eternal running, at a higher resolution at 120 frames a second on the Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, it definitely just that technology alone is creating a performance gain that is that you can see like right out of the gate. You know what I mean? And that's just one of the many tools that are easier to implement. Imagine when all this other stuff comes. I think mesh shaders is definitely going to be the thing that will help us get rid of that popping. I'm so sick of popping, man. Like I really wanted that gone this generation.
Yeah, and we still like the direct storage is not being used properly. The whole velocity architecture is not being used. To be honest with you, right? So these
Yeah.
loading speeds are just going to increase in the future and stuff, right? I spoke with some Xbox guys. Actually, the guy that actually works on BC Pack and the texture compression, and he said
Yeah.
that, and because I'm not sure if you noticed that a number of games on PlayStation actually takes less space on the hard drive now,
Right. Yeah.
because they are using a compression and like better compression. And I was kind of curious whether Xbox is finally using BC packs, right? Because BC pack is
Yeah.
basically the version
What
of compression
cracking?
technology that should compress all these files better, and that should take less space on the hard drive. But
Yeah.
I spoken with what's his name, James. I forgot the surname. Sorry about that. He's
Oh, you're
working
good.
on the BC pack, and he just basically told me that that has been already implemented. But the problem is that developers are not using it because
Oh, I see.
BC pack is a compression technology that can be used only on Xbox Series X and S on the next gen consoles. Cannot be used on the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and X, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty much all games are still cross-gen. So
So
developers don't.
they're not going out of their way
They, I
to
mean,
use it.
exactly. They could, but they won't because that costs extra time to implement it, right?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
this cross-gen kind of development is kind of holding
Holding
these games
everything back, holding
a
up these new
little bit.
features.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to imagine though, like COVID really affected, everything and how everything's getting done right now to an extent that we might have lost maybe a year and a half, 2 years of, development time. You see with, I mean, PlayStation says, oh yeah, well, we just decided to go ahead and support cross-gen. But I mean, if you look at all those games that they're making, they look like they were designed with last gen in mind. I mean, you can obviously tell God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and even Gran Turismo 7, they look like they were designed with last gen in mind. I mean, they definitely were. They were just going to put them on the new gens, upgrade the visuals, and then that was where they were going to go with that.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, if you look at Forza Horizon 4, that's still a cross-gen title, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks so great.
I mean, how they did it, I don't know, and it just goes to show that how capable Playground Game is as a developer, right? And
Yeah,
they actually making Fable as well, and I think don't quote me on that. I think they are using the same engine, or should I say, not necessarily the same per se, but they may be using a iteration of it, right? A later iteration, like in a proper next generation version of it. But I think they are using its tech. I think it's called, right?
id Tech,
For
yeah.
for Fable as well. So
Dude, if
you
they're
know,
using id Tech and Fable, that is going to be freaking amazing. Like,
mm.
say this with me, like Xbox owns id Tech,
Sorry,
bro.
not sorry, so sorry.
Oh,
I misspoke. Not id
oh,
Tech. Forza Tech. Forza
oh,
Tech.
Forza Tech, yeah, Forza Tech for Fable. That's right. But if they could implement anything from id Tech, oh my gosh, dude, id Tech is one heck of a freaking engine. People are always talking about things, but Doom Eternal is one amazing game that I mean, the performance that you got on Xbox One X was amazing. That game looked
With
great
ray
on.
tracing.
I mean, you get on Series X, you get ray tracing and everything else, and it looks pretty good. Have you played that yet?
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
played it, right? Oh
It's
man,
amazing. Yeah, it's great.
that id Tech is one freaking hell of an accomplishment. And now that Xbox owns that, if they put, I mean, gosh, just playing that Halo demo. Oh my gosh, I'd never played Halo online. I never really was a big online, multiplayer shooter guy. And then when I play this game and like you start running and it feels fast. Like I'm playing, like I said, Far Cry 6 right now. And when you're running, it feels all slow, but oh gosh, that Halo's great. It feels
Yeah,
good.
it actually. I played all three betas. I mean, COD, Battlefield, and Halo. And
Halo's by far
dude,
the most
Halo is eating
most
these
polished. Yeah.
for breakfast. It's even no competition. And
Yeah.
I was
It's like
yeah,
it's like Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty.
yeah. I was very sour about Halo Infinite delay at the very beginning,
Yeah.
right? Because new console, no
Want to
real,
have that one game to just,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, all these games like Medium and these small titles, or even Gears Tactics, which I kind of like, but I'm not really the biggest fan of these kind of games, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
there were some games to play, but there wasn't this like this big title to go with new console, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So I was very disappointed at the very beginning, but now when you look, the state that Halo Infinite is, right,
Yeah. It
despite
was
the
it was
COVID
well
and that kind of
worth.
stuff,
Yeah. It
it's
was
like,
well worth
okay,
the delay.
yeah. And just like some people say, right, I mean, bad game is always going to be a bad game, but if you delay the
Yep.
game, well, you will get a bad press at the very beginning, but at the end of the day, when the game actually hits and it's good, well, nobody will
Yeah.
remember that the game was delayed, right?
I mean, with Xbox Series X, though, there was more than enough. There was more than enough reason to buy that console just based on solely backwards compatibility alone. That it was like, for me, it was like upgrading my GPU and my CPU to get better performance out of the games that I already own. Because let's face it, if you buy all these games, and especially digital, now that everybody wants to go, that these companies are kind of pushing us towards digital. Yeah, dude, I want them to upgrade those games. I want that experience to be better because I'm going to look on my hard drive and I'm going to see something like, oh yeah, I want to play that again, and it's going to look better. It's going to feel better. It's going to feel like it felt when I first played it. And that is
Yeah.
one of the biggest reasons I love what Xbox is doing, and that's why they've won me over to the point where I would much rather celebrate Xbox going forward than be another mouthpiece for Sony.
Hmm. I mean, there was quite a lot of games that like took advantage of that extra power, like automatically, because games would either have unlocked frame rates or dynamic resolution, and these games would just run and look better on Xbox Series X. There was a couple of interesting updates. Like obviously Gears 5 looks amazing on Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Hive Busters, another great
Oh yeah.
DLC, but looks amazing, and I really do hope that they will do some more of that kind of DLCs in the future.
Like another DLC for Gears 5, or because
Yeah.
we've been talking about this on my channel a little while, like every time we go into lives, about, are they making Gear 6 right now, or are they just doing that new project that they're talking about? I'm kind of hoping they're doing both, but if they're
No,
just doing more
they
DLC, that would be good too.
no. I mean, uh, I'm not necessarily saying that we will get DLC for Gears 5. If anything, we may get more content for Gears 6 whenever it comes out, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
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 because like I remember even reading an article on IGN where they interviewed, the coalition, right? And they basically said that this is like a test for them. They just want to they just want to see how that's going to be perceived by the media and gamers and that kind of stuff, right?
right,
So we may actually get that. And let's face it, like Game Pass will kind of promote games that will have long lasting kind of appeal. So, with a new
yeah,
content, whether that's single player content or multiplayer content. So, like, look at what Forza Motorsport's going to be. I mean, they don't even
yeah,
call it 8 anymore, right?
yeah.
We'll
They're
just
just Forza Motorsport. With those type
imagine,
of games, I would
imagine,
much rather it be supported long term because I'm a sim racer. I have a sim rig. I like to sim race. I would much rather them continuously bring more content to something like Forza Motorsport than to create a new game every couple of years because that just gets we don't necessarily need a new game. We just need a game built on a good platform that's going to give us a visual experience and then have more content brought to it when it comes to racing games.
I mean, did you play Forza Motorsport 5 and 6?
I played 5. No, I think I did play 4. I did play 5, and I have played 6 and 7. Yes, I have played them.
Yeah, and okay, Forza 7 was an interesting thing because it was actually on Xbox Series X, so it had this, HDR and 4K, 60 frames per second. So in this sense, that was an interesting kind of game. But like, Forza 5 and 6, they were almost identical, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
there wasn't, I mean, other than, well, they increased the number of cars, I think, and on the track, and they introduced the paddles, that
yeah,
the physics for that.
hmm
So there were some changes, but like it wasn't really that
yeah. It wasn't
massive
enough for a whole new game.
No, the
They,
graphics pretty much, actually they even downgraded graphics because I was
oh yeah,
going, like track details actually looks better on in Forza 5, right?
yeah,
So I guess like they thrown more cars onto the track, but I guess they had to compromise somewhere, right?
yeah.
So I can see like I can see why Forza Motorsport would actually work as a game, as a service,
Game
as
as a
as a
service.
platform,
Yeah,
right? Throw like a big chunk of cars and trucks and stuff, and then just improve that game over
yeah.
time, right? If you need to upgrade an engine a little bit, do it right within the same kind
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
generation, right? Just keep adding new cars, new trucks, I don't know, some
I mean, if
challenges.
if they did that too, that would free up resources for them to continue to develop new technologies for that engine. If they weren't constantly just jumping from that to building a new game, because we don't necessarily need a new Forza game. We just need more content more regularly
Mhm.
for some of these certain kinds of games. And I think that would be better in the long run. PS5
And
better.
if I mean, even if you think about Halo Infinite now, right? I mean, that's going to be a game as a service, and
Yeah,
they even said that we won't see a new Halo game for a while. Why? Because even kind of story content will be delivered as a
as
so-called
games of service.
DLC,
Yeah,
or it will be a part of that platform, one way or the other, right? So instead of
right,
like having Halo 5, 6, 7, 8 up to like 150, right? We'll just get
right.
like extra story expansions. I get that's the way to put it, right? So
Well,
and
they,
I'm totally fine with it, right?
yeah, me too.
As
I'm
long as long as the content is there, and
exactly.
it's going to be on Game Pass. You buy a basic game and then just expand it.
Do you think they're going to support the Xbox One generation through all that Halo Infinite, or do you think they're gonna quit that?
No. I think that obviously we'll get we'll get Halo Infinite on Xbox One as well right now, but I think that they may keep the multiplayer live for a long time. But when it comes to kind of these story expansions, or however you want to call it, I don't
Yeah.
think that the next one will be for last generation consoles.
I think honestly is what it should do is whatever it launches with. Like, I mean, hear me out. Whatever it launches with, with the content, the story content is like, okay, hey, here's what we're doing for Xbox One, Xbox One, but then when you do get a Series X, you will get a free upgrade and you'll be able to move forward with all the new content. I'm really hoping they do that, something like that. But I mean, they've already said that cloud service is going to allow people on last gen hardware to continue to play next gen games as well through cloud or whatever, because that's coming this holiday. They said, right?
You mean
this holiday?
streaming?
Yeah, streaming for consoles. They're supposed to be happening sometime this summer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's already available for beta testers, right?
Yeah,
So
beta
if
testers
you
already got it.
Yeah, so they are already testing it, and it's actually a great idea because, like, hey, you still got console and chips shortages. Not everyone, even if there's millions of people that wants to buy these new consoles, but they
just can't freaking get their
there's
hands
not
on them.
exactly
They need to.
exactly. So what are you going to do, right? I mean, at least you've got an option of cloud, and you can play these next gen games either on PC via browser or an app, or on your Xbox One console and via app as well. So
Right.
I think it's a brilliant idea, and actually it's an interesting thing also from Xbox Series S perspective, because Xbox Series S, some games on Xbox Series S actually drops resolution even below 1080p.
900p.
Sometimes they have like ray tracing disabled and that kind of stuff, right? So now these Xbox Series S owners will be able to play
all that
Xbox
X
Series
games
X versions
without having
via streaming, right? So
but
it's going to be interesting. It's interesting that some games will be better played via streaming, because as long as you've got internet, of course, right? But
exactly. I feel like Xbox. That's the biggest reason that I think they are, just like changing hearts and minds, because they are providing these options, so many options, that it's like, wow, dude, you can play Xbox on a phone, full-fledged Xbox games on a phone. And let's face it, there's a lot of phones out there, man. There's everybody with the cell phone is potentially an Xbox customer now. And I think PlayStation is really starting to notice this, and they're like, because you hear Jim Ryan the other day talking about he wants hundreds of millions of people to play PlayStation games, and not just the 10 to 20 million people that go out and buy those games. I know it's more than 10 to 20 million. I used to manage a video game store. People will buy them, bring them back, sell them in the resale market on those games. A lot more people do experience these PlayStation games than just the official numbers. So,
and Sony doesn't get any money from that, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, not a dime. But if they have a streaming service, then they get all that money right there. That is basically. I kind of see it as Xbox is doing their best to put these resale stores out of business, and PlayStation's doing everything to keep them in business. Charging people an extra $10 for games. And I get why they're doing that, and they still are sticking true to delivering, those first party experiences that I want, that. But at the same when in an age where everybody else is going like free to play or live service, and PlayStation's still kind of keeping that, that structure of their games alive. So I believe it's going to change. I believe PlayStation's going to jump on the bandwagon too pretty soon.
Of course. Listen, they are losing money. That's just reality of it, right? And I get why they are sticking to the consoles, and that's also one of the reasons why Microsoft didn't ditch consoles as well, because like when you get somebody on the console, you're not only getting somebody who will buy your games, but this somebody will also buy third-party games, and Sony gets 30% cut. Microsoft gets 30% cut from each purchase, right? So it's still going to be very very lucrative kind of business for them to sell consoles, right? But at the same time, there's still a lot of gamers, a lot of people that buy these consoles only to play 2 or 3 exclusives per year, and
I know
then
people that literally buy PlayStations to play Madden. To play Madden. Then that's not a PlayStation exclusive. It's just that's what they've been doing. Every year they'll buy the new PlayStation to play the new Maddens. So these sports games they're pretty big, man. A lot of people do buy them.
So like if they were able to push more of these games to like other platforms, it's just more eyes for onto PlayStation as a publisher, not necessarily a console manufacturer and stuff. And and who knows, right? I mean, some of these people may actually buy a PlayStation later on, because they may, this Horizon on PC was actually great, maybe I'll get Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 5 and that kind of stuff, right?
I mean, they're definitely going to be bringing those games to PC. I'm pretty sure like day and date is going to happen for PlayStation before the end of this generation. It has to. They need those new income streams. I mean, and they want to reach more people. Like, who better than the PC crowd, which is what, aren't they like 28% of the gaming market, or maybe like 30%? I think consoles are 30% and PC is like 28%. So that's almost double the install base just by moving your games to PC as well.
I mean, people need to realize that like we as a console and PC gamers should stop looking at things only from our perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because I hear, I would never, play via streaming or whatever, right? And that kind of stuff. Or, like, why would I want to, I'm a PlayStation guy. I mean, why would I buy another console, something like that, right? But we are living in a world, like I've got a 8 years old son, right? And he doesn't care, on what console he plays. He just wants to play these games, and he consumes
They just
these
want to
games.
play.
And all these kids, right? They kind of they used to having Netflix, all these Spotify's, and that kind of stuff. Like when I was a kid, these things were not a thing.
They didn't exist. No.
Right. And so the whole digital era where you can access all these things via everything really is something normal. So when they look at the console, actually consoles are kind of archaic thing for them.
Exactly. These
Because
things are dying out.
What are you trying to tell me, that I cannot use that on my other device where I can watch movies, listen to my music on hundreds of other devices? So for them, that's not natural, right? So they will grow. These guys, the small kids will grow in that kind, and they will get used to the having access to everything on everything. And and if PlayStation wants to cater to these people, I mean, they will have to go this route and offer these games on Android, iOS, TVs, and that kind of stuff. So
I mean,
sooner or later they will have to.
That would be the best for them, though, because I am a PlayStation fan. I've loved PlayStation since PlayStation 1, and I personally have no problem with them going to Android phone, going to PC. I would even be okay with some of them going to Xbox, as a trade for some of the Xbox games going to PlayStation. It doesn't even matter. I just want, you just want that one. That it would be nice if we only had to, pick up one device or something, or we had like, our phones and everything that we could play all our games on. I like gaming. Me personally, I like my TV and my console setup, but I would would invest in a PC to play everything if it was all on. If I could get everything on that platform, then yeah, I would. I would probably not buy consoles and just do everything PC wise.
Yeah, the only problem with PC these days is like is price. Because I had a PC, gaming PC, and I was thinking about like upgrading it and that kind of stuff. But then I when I looked at the prices and stuff, I was like, "Are you
Oh
kidding
yeah,
me?
so
Like
ridiculous.
$1,000 for RTX 3070 or something like that? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
that's crazy money, right?" And I was like, "No, no way." And that's the only thing that kind of holds PC gaming by a little bit right now.
is the
That
price? Yeah,
that may change with AMD's APUs, because AMD is planning to release those more powerful APUs, gaming capable, APUs basically on PC market as well. So
yeah,
that may actually change like in next maybe 2-3 years, I guess. I really do hope so. So
yeah,
that, if they did that, then we would get a very affordable, even laptops,
yeah.
which would not cost a lot and still be capable, right?
Right.
While with the thing with consoles is that like these consoles are very easy to use and kind of and cheap. I mean, I know that
Yeah,
$500 is not
yeah.
cheap anyway, but if you compare it to like
To
building
yeah,
a gaming PC, that's
both
like
of those are like
that's
$1,500 to build a PC at
yeah,
that spec.
minimum.
About
Yeah.
$1,500, man. So both these consoles are still, and the presentation and the quality you get, I kind of feel like it's a little better because everything's built specifically for that console and optimized good. Whereas on PC, you're going to be sitting there. I know a lot of people like that. If you're a PC gamer, you like to be able to fiddle around with everything and get things to the best you like them. But me, dude, I know I'd be too bad with that. I would be driving myself nuts with that. I would never be happy. I'd never be satisfied, and I would always want better. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, just going that route would be a pain in the butt for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and on top of that, like I cannot see myself dragging my desktop PC and to connect it to my TV downstairs, right? It's like, can you
Yeah,
imagine me bringing that big thing over to downstairs and connect to it and stuff? Actually,
yeah,
what I actually do quite a lot is that, like, because I've got my kind of gaming setup over here, right, in my kind of office, because I work here, I work from home as well. So
yeah,
I've got everything connected to my 4K monitor over here, like, and I spend playing games most of my time over here. But once for
right.
a while, I'll just grab my Xbox, right, and a controller. You don't have to drag any cables with it because all the cables actually fits, right. So I'll
Yeah,
just take it downstairs, connect to TV. It takes like literally 10 seconds to connect the cables,
yep,
and I can play it downstairs on my big, TV as well. So,
yeah,
but I can't see myself doing the same with my PC, right? That would be just
yeah. That would be a pain in the
crazy.
butt.
So, like that makes consoles like kind of more appealing and that kind of stuff, right? And
Oh,
also, a lot of guys
just
will tell you that, like, I just want to chill out with a controller in front of my
yeah.
big TV, right? And
It just the turning the Xbox on to being in game now, or the PlayStation is way faster than the PC, isn't it?
hmm.
Like you could get right into these within 20 seconds now on both of these consoles. The loading is so fast that boom, you're already in, you're already playing.
Yeah, I mean, loading on PC is very fast as well, and sometimes it's even faster. But like, PC don't have quick resume yet, so
Yeah,
that's a big thing, because people say, I mean, who cares about quick resume? These games actually load so fast. Yeah, but the thing is, like, quick resume, eliminates all these loading screens, and not only loading screens, but all these kind of like, oh, it's a Ubisoft game. It's made with this, game engine, and you've got
yeah.
like hundreds of like,
All the little pre freaking things before you get in.
exactly.
Yeah, it's so bad.
And then you've got a main menu, and you have to load the game, and then you have to, it takes you back to the, a checkpoint or something like that. So you have to play it.
Yeah, gosh.
So, and while with quick resume is like you finish the game in this particular spot on a map, and that's
And you're
where you
right
start
there.
when you when you
it's
start.
like
So,
right into it, no menus, nothing. I love quick resume. It's so great.
exactly, yeah.
It definitely makes like playing some games like these big open world games where you're just like, man, I just got to stop for a minute. Then you just get right back in. You're right where you are.
Yeah, and they improved it because I think that was like 2 or 3 months ago. Because like quick resume usually took around,
Eight to 11 seconds or something.
now it's half.
Now it's instant. It's almost instant, especially with Far Cry 6. Turn it on and boom, I'm right there. It was so fast. I was like, wow, that's pretty nice. They do need to find a way to do it with the online games though. Like some of those online games, you can't just jump right back into. Most of those you got to restart.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
I don't think they will be able to actually fix it because it's you still have to have matchmaking, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get over. There's no work around it unless you would stay connected online all the time, which makes little sense in my opinion. It's just like I don't think that they will do anything about that
For the online games. Yeah. 9 foot here saying it's online games is pointless. I don't know, man. Sometimes when you're getting into some of them games that you're like, well, especially the older ones, well, newer games are getting pretty good about getting in there. Yeah. That's just kind of, I don't really think they need to fix that, but quick resume is an amazing feature.
The only thing is that like in multiplayer games, it can take you straight to the lobby, I guess. That's the only thing. But other than that, like you still have to wait some seconds or 30 seconds sometimes for matchmaking do its work and stuff, to wait for other players to join and to load the game. I don't think you can fix that.
Well, like we were talking about that Outriders earlier, like me and my nephew, we had it both on the Series X, and my other nephew had it on the Xbox One X, and we're sitting there for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds waiting for him to load in. And I don't know. It's just so fast. I'm just happy with the faster loading, honestly, to tell you the truth. I don't mind a few seconds. And then when you got people like, well, the PlayStation PS5 is so much faster, and it's like, dude, a couple seconds, man. Like, seriously, are we really? I would have much rather had that more power instead of the extra 2 seconds of loading time, like any day of the week. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more excited.
Didn't you hear that SSD, processes graphics these days as well? So.
Oh yeah, it makes them better. I was like, wait a minute, my SSD must be broken. It's not making Far Cry 6 look any better, dude. Oh yeah, they're dude, the fanboys are just so bad, man. I mean, I love my PlayStation. It's fine. It's definitely the most powerful PlayStation I've ever had, and I've seen some pretty decent stuff on it so far, so I don't doubt it anymore. But at the end of the day, like making stuff up like the SSD is going to make it better. Wow.
I mean, you know what? Like I've got PlayStation 5 as well, and I'm actually super happy with it. And
it's not. I mean, for the most part, it's not that big of a difference. You're still getting.
It's not.
It's not as bad as PS4 Pro and Xbox One X.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way better. It's a lot closer.
And to be honest with you, I even think that PlayStation 5 kind of even surprised me a little bit, that it actually provides more than I thought it would provide, right? Because I didn't think that backwards compatibility would work that well, and it works very well on PlayStation.
Yeah, it does work good.
And I like that console. It's quiet finally. So I don't have to, dude.
Well, I don't know, man. We're not even over 200 power. We're not even over 200 watts yet. So we'll see.
I remember my wife complaining about me playing games on PlayStation because it was that loud, and she's like, what are you doing there, right? I mean, I want to watch a TV, and you just keep whizzing.
She's like, how many fans do you need, man?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Turn that thing
up. It's kind of hot in here. We need. Oh yeah.
Exactly. So now PlayStation 5 is actually whisper quiet. So I like it, and finally the controller, right? I really like the controller now.
This DualSense, it is pretty good. I will give it that. I hadn't really experienced any like major this is pretty cool until like Deathloop and Death Stranding now, and like. This one, Far Cry 6, feels pretty decent on it too. The more that developers use it, the better it's going to get. I think.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about the features. I'm just how
Oh, the way
the
it
how
fits.
yeah, it's kind of like it's bulky, and it feel like I've got like big hands, right? Like big
Yeah,
fat hands, right? So it fits better in my hands now. The triggers are a little bit better as well.
yeah.
So I like it. All these rambles and that kind of stuff, right? That's cool as well. But
Yeah,
um,
it just has to be the right game. I've noticed it. I've noticed it better in, like Deathloop feels pretty good in that, and then Death Stranding feels really good in that one. It's literally taken like 6 months to start getting games that are actually worth, talking about the haptic feedback in that controller, because a lot of them are just they weren't that great.
you know what? Actually, I actually disabled that in Spider-Man because it was getting on my nerves. I
Oh,
was
really?
like, I hate it. I hated it. It's just like, I'm because you just have to when you traverse, you just you just have to keep pressing the the swing button and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
The triggers, and it's like Jesus Christ. It's just like
yeah. You
it's
just turn it
annoying.
off.
I just turned it off, right?
It's kind of a workout on your
I
fingers, though. Have
do.
you?
No, it is. It was actually tiring, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I do
I
like,
noticed that.
yeah, I do like the actual rumble and that kind of stuff. So that's cool. All these noises and that kind of
But
stuff.
the
But the
triggers, yeah, they get kind of. It just depends on the game too, because I don't necessarily. It's like you pull it and then you pull it again. You pull it. It's like a double. It's just a two position
Mm,
switch for me. It doesn't do what I was thinking. With like being able to gradually push on the like gas pedal or something, but it just stops and then it pulls back again. And I was like, no, this isn't what I wanted it to be. But I'm pretty sure it could possibly get better. I don't know. The rumble does feel pretty good. I made a
mm.
video asking Phil Spencer if they'll just give us haptic feedback rumble in our Xbox controllers so that we can finally call the Xbox Series X a next gen console. I mean, because you know what I mean? Like, can we please get our haptics so we can join the next gen club? I mean, all the other wonderful stuff just doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah.
we could have waited on that till Sony caught up with it.
But I think they are working on it. I'm just kind of I'm not really sure how they would introduce it, but I'm not sure if you remember. There was a time.
When Phil was
Was it
talking about it.
actually? I'm thinking about PlayStation because the original PlayStation, the very first PlayStation, came without came without analogs, and they
Yeah.
introduced analogs midway through
Uh,
the generation.
you remember the oh no, they did bring out the dual shock when they still had the fat model. I was trying to remember if they brought it to the smaller one, the revision,
Hmm.
or but they did bring it about. Gosh, what was it? Like a couple years after, like just a few years after the original launched. That's right.
I
Because I
think
remember
I think
I
Ape
remember going
Escape
and
was
buying
one
a
of
new
the
one.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember going out and buying a whole nother PlayStation to get those controllers too.
Yeah. So
That was
these kind of things were done in the past. So who knows? They may actually introduce it halfway through the generation as well. So
that would be cool. I mean, like I would go out and buy like a new, one that's a regular or a non-regular. Yeah, dude, I would go buy one. I'd pre-order it. I'd have it here the day it got
and
the day it got
to
released.
and they can introduce it as an options for the games. And to be honest with you, even in PlayStation games you can just disable it, so
Yeah,
developers have to the way they code, the way they make these games and these features is that like you can still disable it. So
yeah,
they can do the same on Xbox, is that like if you've got a controller with these kind of features, right? Yeah, support it, turn it on. If not, then if you've got a regular old controller, turn it off, right? So
yeah.
not a problem.
Uh, I know in Furious One, I was just making that go. It was a joke. It was a serious joke about the whole controller thing and Phil Spencer, so we could join the next gen. He was getting
Yeah.
all caps, man. That was serious. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm generally happy with my Xbox experience, and I'm really hoping to see what they're going to be bringing in the future. Like definitely on board with whatever they got. Fable, uh, Avowed, Hellblade
I'll
2.
I'll tell you something, because like a lot of people say, oh, why would anyone buy an Xbox? Why would anyone be an Xbox guy, right? And the thing,
Right.
and I mean, we talk about the features, we talk about power and that kind of stuff. Sure, that all matters, because it's always nice to have like nice, smoothly running and nice looking games and stuff. But at the end of the day, right? Like you said, like I asked you, why did you become an Xbox guy? Why did you buy an Xbox? For a game, you wanted to play Forza, right? And
Right.
for me, the biggest thing about Xbox is the type of games. I love shooters. I love racing games. I
Yeah.
love RPGs. Right?
And they play better on Xbox.
That's one thing, but they will have all these games from first party studios:
Yep.
Obsidian, In Exile, Playground Games, and Fable. Now
Yep.
Bethesda, right? I mean, they are actually uh, they will be an RPG factory, basically, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I
so
mean, those are the games I like. Racing, freaking RPGs, open world games. Like, I love it. And Xbox is definitely a place for all of that to be in. And I mean,
and
it
Game
feels so
Pass,
good. It feels
and Game
seamless.
Pass, and Game
The
Pass,
Xbox
Game Pass.
community is nicer. Yeah, Game Pass. Game Pass is an amazing value. Yeah, it's fun. It's been a great. What has it been, like 4.5 years? Well, 5 years now since I got that Xbox. It's definitely been good.
Yeah.
I've Well, I mean, a lot of that comes from, like, switching to a new ecosystem too. Like, you've got 20 years with, I got 20 years with the PlayStation before the Xbox, and now I'm like, oh wow, making Xbox more of my daily driver and stuff. So a lot of that does come from that. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I buy all my third party games on Xbox now, so it doesn't even matter. Chances are the experience is going to be better on the
To be honest with
Xbox.
you, I was even not. I wasn't necessarily more of a PlayStation guy in the past. Like what I really want to say is that, like, I used to play more games on PlayStation because of the Japanese RPGs and that kind of stuff, like Japanese
Yeah,
games overall.
yeah,
Um, but what I found is that, like, as I'm getting older, I'm kind of moving away from that kind of games. Like, um,
yeah.
I've got Final Fantasy VII remake now, right? It's
Right.
fully PlayStation 5 updated and that kind of stuff. I played maybe for 2 hours and I got bored.
Yeah, dude, I was feeling
Um,
the exact same way with Yuffie DLC. That was driving me nuts. I was like,
listen,
I just can't do it.
I used to be really into like Japanese content and Japanese games and like all these Final Fantasy games and stuff, and um, they're not doing thing for me, right? I mean, like,
Yeah,
I still like Yakuza kind of games and stuff, but like, but they are a little bit kind of weird for me as well. And
yeah,
the amount of like dialogue there and these kind of, it's just like, like, you really have to like that type of games and stuff, and that kind of like these Japanese have got this kind of weird thing going on there always, like,
yeah.
it's
It's
like,
like always like
like,
a happy place. You're always in a
yeah,
happy place.
like in Yakuza, I had to do this one mission where, like, there was this guy that wanted to sniff other girls, kind of like, panties and that kind of stuff,
Oh
and
yeah,
you had to help him out, and I was like, why am I
yeah,
doing this?
yeah,
Why is it relevant? Do I really need to do that? To be honest
yeah.
with you, and
Exactly.
it's
I'm kind of
it's not
feeling that
doing
way
anything
with.
to.
I'm kind of feeling that way with Lost Judgment too. Like, I picked that game up and I played a few hours of it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's like, it's just kind of weird, because the first one you had to like go to this place and like pacify these dudes that were dressing up as babies and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I get it. um
Yeah.
did you do gosh dang it, Scarlet Nexus or Tales of Arise?
No, I haven't yet. No, these are
Okay,
on my play to play list.
both of
But
those are
yeah,
better than the other crap.
Yeah,
Like
but
they're
what I can tell you is that I loved Nier Automata,
yeah.
and
Near Automata.
this is very Japanese game as well. But I felt that the actual story was like more mature, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah. So
despite the art style and stuff, right? And like
yeah.
you were like even these robots were like kind of weird looking and that kind of
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
right? But the actual story and stuff was actually very interesting, very deep, right?
Did you do Replicant? You
No,
know Replicant?
not yet, not yet.
That
No.
one's good too. That one's
Oh
good
yeah.
too. Scarlet Nexus and Tales of Arise are more in line with what Nier Automata is,
Hmm.
as opposed to like what Yakuza and all that stuff is. They're more grown up. They feel more grown up, and that's kind of why I was like, oh man, these are great games. They're like really good.
And don't get me wrong, like Yakuza, I love Yakuza games. But the problem is that like you've got this like the main storyline, which is kind of like very serious, and I actually like this Yakuza kind of
Yeah,
guy kind of wars and that kind of stuff. I love it. But like you've got on top of that, you've got all this unnecessary, in my opinion, stuff
yeah,
that I get it. Japanese people love it, right? Because
yeah.
they like that kind
It's
of
funny.
humor and that kind of stuff. Like each kind of like country, I guess each region has their own kind of culture and
Yeah,
and jokes and whatever, right?
I
But
used
it
to be
does.
like really into Japanese JRPGs when I was younger. PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
Dreamcast, even like, and now it's like, oh my gosh, dude, I don't have that. I'm feeling the same way you are about them for the most part. Like it just, some of the
I
stuff just
mean,
feels,
dude, I'm just getting older, so
yeah.
I noticed that like my taste kind of changes as
You want
well.
something
So
more serious, something that you can like sit
yeah.
back and really enjoy. And that's why God of War sat with me really good because it grew up with me. In my
Yeah.
20s, when they first came out, I was young and angry, whatever. And now I'm an old man with young kids and stuff. So it made more sense. It fit better. It fit better with me and my play style to go through that game.
But
So
you
it
know
had
what?
more meaning.
What I would love them to do is I hope that Gear 6 is going to be more dark, like
Dark.
first Gears.
Yeah.
I remember watching and playing. I mean, first I saw the actual trailer, of course, right? And they were showing a little bit of gameplay where you had to play with lights to avoid these kind of flying things. I think they call krill or something like that in that game.
Okay.
um, and so there is this mission where you had to like play with the lights, because whenever you were not in the light, right,
Right.
these krill thing would basically just eat you up, right?
Right.
And it was kind of like it was a little bit of horror, kind of like a little bit, right? So I would love them to do kind of more dark kind of Gears
Like a
6.
Gear 6.
Mm,
That would make sense. I mean, because they got enough power now to push, higher density, higher fidelity. With Dolby Vision, they can get a lot better, contrast ratios and stuff with that. So yeah, dude, a darker game, like a darker story and a darker environment, kind of, yeah, I would like that too. Honestly,
mm,
I want more games that are more grown up, that are better suited, for my age. That's what I want, and that was probably my biggest problem with PlayStation throughout the whole beginning. The PlayStation 5 is because it's all been kid games. Ratchet and
mhm.
Clank. I mean, Returnal was kind of in between, but I didn't jive well with that game. I've been in that first biome for like 12 hours. It was so broken when it came out that I was like, I just can't do it. I got to move on. I can't spend any more time on this game. So yeah, they need quick resume for that game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, yeah.
Because
So yeah, that's Xbox like is has got quite a lot of stuff going on right now, and once these games starts hitting, it's going to be just like
no, yeah,
great. I
Forza
can't wait.
Horizon 5. I can't wait to hear just the like that game looks phenomenal. Everything we've seen on that looks amazing. When that game finally launches in, what is it, less than 30 days now, um, yeah, I think that's where everything's going to really start to take off, and we're going to start. We're going to be busy with that, and then Halo drops, boom, and then, oh man, I hope they have something for like the first quarter of next year. I want to see them be able to drop a game every quarter. I want to see PlayStation be able to do the same thing too. Be able to drop a new first party game every quarter, and with as many studios as they have, I think that should be possible. But you
I
never
think
know.
that I will. I think they will have more than that. There's one game per quarter. I think it's for the like these biggest games,
Yeah,
but you will have like smaller titles in between as well, like Psychonauts, for example, right?
yeah,
Or the Ascent, or Scorn, or the Gunk, and there's going to be
yeah,
plenty of game other like all the time, like Stalker is being considered like more like a smaller games as well, I guess, right?
yeah.
um
That
despite the
game's
fact.
got some. That game's got some real Metro Exodus vibes, and I'm really looking forward to playing that.
I
Uh,
mean, listen, Metro was actually made by the almost kind of, well, not the same developers. I mean,
it's like a
um,
sister company or something.
yeah, because
Yeah,
they split. I think they made Stalker one. They split, and basically, some of these developers, just kept doing, more Stalker things, while the other group, they like, they set up their own studio and started making Metro games, right? So they are kind of similar, but I mean, Stalker right now is kind of like rough around the edges.
yeah.
If somebody wants to play it, but
Oh, you mean like the old one? The old
yeah,
one
the
from.
old one. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I was like, I never played it because I didn't. Wasn't that only on PC though?
yeah. It's on PC, but these games are like more than 10 years old. So the
Yeah, Stalker's
graphics
pretty
and
old.
the controls and everything is kind of
That's
rough.
that's that's been like a weird thing though. I mean, yeah, because like going back and playing some of these older games, even though they're upgraded to 4K, they have auto HDR support. They still feel like last gen games. Like I was streaming some Conker's Bad Fur Day. It looks great, but I mean, it still feels like an old game. Like, how did we get through those? How did we get through those generations, man? Like, how were
Mhm.
we able to play that stuff back then? I
Well,
don't.
we didn't know anything better, right?
We didn't know better.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, man. Like,
I want to. I was. I bought the Meta MGS collection, HD collection.
yeah,
So it consists of like MGS 2 and 3 and some other like extra stuff.
yeah.
And I started playing it, but like it's like
It's all
why
like,
can I why can, and I was like sorry, why can I not switch to 3D view and that kind of
I
stuff? I was
know.
like, because it's everything is like it's this like
It's
view
almost like a
from
top
the
down. Yeah,
top
like
down thing, right?
isometric.
Yeah, so
I love those freaking games though. Back when they first came out, like when I bought my PlayStation 2, the first game I bought was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. That game was freaking the first game I bought, and I was like, wow, this is great. They give you that whole snake, and then you turn into the other guy. I was like, what is this? I was in that crowd with everybody that was like, what the heck is this, man? We got a bait and switch. That was the first real bait and switch I ever felt. Second one came with Marvel's Avengers. Have you played that yet? The campaign through that?
yeah, I started playing it. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, it's pretty okay. Yeah, it's okay. But the thing is, like, I'm not really the biggest fan of like superhero
Avengers.
movies.
Oh yeah,
Not Avengers. Like whether like games like Spider-Man, Batman, Avengers, or all these games that are coming soon. I'm looking at
yeah.
them and like,
Just don't
it's
know about them. It's just another.
I get the same feeling like with those JRPGs. Like it's like they
Some,
don't. I don't feel these games are. I mean, I will play them a little bit. Like Spider Man is actually fun to play, to be honest with you, right?
yeah,
But I don't feel like blown away by these games. Like me
yeah,
personally, I prefer like. Did you play the Outer Worlds from
yeah.
Obsidian?
I did play. I have not finished that one yet. I am to the. I'm to that docking station after you take off from the first planet.
All right, okay.
Because this is
So
what happens is every time I quit playing it for a minute, and then when I go back to it, I forget where I'm at. So I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I just end up getting
But
frustrated and quitting.
so this game is rough around the edges, like it just looks good. Okay, it's not really the most complicated game, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
that game actually, I was hooked like straight away, right? So I beat it like in no time, right?
yeah.
Because I like that kind of games. And even though the graphics is not great, performance was just okay. Although I played on
That
PC.
game looked pretty freaking good. Oh yeah, I need to test that for Dolby Vision. But that game came out back when it looked pretty good on Xbox One X when
Yeah,
it launched. It looked pretty
pretty
good.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, wow, this looks good. The color palette and all this stuff. It looked pretty good. But
Yeah,
then it started
very,
falling apart when you get into that. When you get
very
onto that.
colorful.
When you get onto that, like that place where after you leave that first planet, then it started kind of falling apart for me. But I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So
But I actually like the humor. I really like the whole corporate wars and that kind of stuff, and how people are being exploited by the corporations, and how somebody wants to fight it, and and the whole RPG mechanics and shooting was okay, to be honest with you. I was playing on
yeah,
PC,
it
so
wasn't too bad.
yeah, but I was playing on PC, so I can't really talk about like how that feels on the controller and stuff. But I like that kind of games, right?
Yeah,
Like this is me. This is why I like like what they bought. Like I really like the fact that they will have more and more of these kind of
of
RPG
these,
games, right?
yeah,
And I get it that like a lot of people will cater to PlayStation because they've got all these superhero games, right? But
yeah,
these games do nothing to me for me, right?
yeah.
But
I mean, they're
hey,
one and done
but I'm
experiences.
listen, but I'm mad, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
that's me. That's my taste. That's what I like, and that's what I
Yeah,
don't like, right? I mean,
right.
so
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, PlayStation is either going to have to. I think they're either going to have to evolve, or they're going to be the next Nintendo. Man, they're going to be in their own little world. Because I don't necessarily see Microsoft competing with PlayStation as much as it's competing with like Amazon and Google and everything else now.
hmm.
I think that PlayStation is kind of, I mean, yeah, it's their little console thing or whatever, but I mean,
Listen, at the end of the day, PlayStation is doing great. Uh, and they are growing the business, and now they are reporting that they sold the most consoles ever in first 11 months, whatever, right?
yeah.
um
Well,
uh,
Microsoft's saying the same thing.
yeah,
This is the
but
best console launch for both of them, and
exactly. But the thing is, like there is a hard limit to how many consoles you can actually sell, right?
yeah,
And the thing is that Microsoft is kind of testing the waters. So, that they will, they are throwing quite a lot of big money into it, right? They
right,
are, it's a risky business, but if it works, the
yeah,
payout will be really, really big. And I
oh
think
yeah,
that PlayStation is kind of like, okay, well, let's see how that works. If they will be successful in doing that, then we'll join them as well. And I think that's what it's all about, because Sony cannot afford. I mean, they don't even have that kind of money, right? To kind of
yeah.
build all the infrastructure and stuff. They will have to partner with somebody, and that costs money as well. So I think they will have.
What would you think if they actually partnered with Google with Stadia? Put PlayStation first party games on Stadia.
Actually, that would be great. I
I
mean,
think
actually, because Google actually Stadia is tech wise. I mean,
mhm.
it works
and
very well. It,
and
it's it's the
PlayStation really doesn't
best.
have any, like any real. I mean, Stadia could. I mean, I would kind of worry about that if they did. I mean, for Xbox's sake, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't really matter. I mean, I could see them possibly going with Stadia. You know,
Listen, I mean, I don't worry about Microsoft. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm looking at it from my own kind of selfish perspective, right?
right?
If Sony was if they partnered with Google and if they would put all these games on Stadia, um I mean, listen, this tech just works. It's really
Yeah,
great. played some games on it, and never had any issues with it. So that would be great because it just works. I mean, PlayStation Now works as well. I mean, the
Yeah, I had that
pro-
for a little while, and I was just like, it
problem
worked.
problem is that PlayStation Now is not in Poland officially, right? They don't
Oh yeah,
support that service. So in order for me to use it, I have to go through VPNs, but also I have to use fake accounts and that kind of stuff, right? So it's kind
yeah,
of like extra hoops for me to use it. So it's kind of pointless, really, in the long
yeah,
run. But if they decide to grow it and introduce it here in Poland as well, so I would use
yeah,
it. Why not?
yeah. I mean, if they, I mean, there's a lot of different, like, there's a lot of countries that Game Pass is not even in yet, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're still, they're still trying to get Game Pass
Game
going
Pass is
in
in
a
like
lot of other.
25 countries, I think.
Yeah, they definitely need to grow that out more, along with the cloud too. The sooner they can get that into people's hands, the better. I mean, I know that China could potentially be a pretty big market. Xbox is already growing pretty decently in Japan, from what I'm hearing. I'm seeing posts on Twitter all the time of Japanese people posting their new Xboxes and stuff, and you didn't see that a lot with the Xbox One or 360, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
You didn't see the excitement that is going on nowadays. I think PlayStation sees what's going on. I think PlayStation sees the the general positivity surrounding Game Pass, and I think they are going to get into it. And then, what are all the people on the PlayStation side that are like Game Pass? Nobody wants to rent their games. I mean, like, how are they gonna like? Are there going to be a bunch more disgruntled, people that are leaving PlayStation? I don't know. It's fanboys are just so
I
dumb.
wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't worry about fanboys because, and that works on both sides. To be honest with you, right?
Yeah,
It's fanboyism is not really a PlayStation thing, right? It's like
right.
we get fanboys on Xbox and Nintendo and PC side of things as well.
It just
You
sucks
know,
that they're the most vocal. It just sucks that they're the most vocal, so they're the most like they're heard out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much of that miscommunication and nonsense out there that, I mean, even you said, they have people believing that the SSD was magically going to make the console better. I mean, we clearly know that's misinformation, but some people out there are dumb enough to believe that. They're like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm like,
but that's Sony. That's Sony's fault, and you know why?
yeah,
Because they don't talk. They don't provide information. There's no documentation on stuff, and basically
yeah,
that's the problem. And even if you listen to, like, PC kind of channels like Red, Paul from Red
Red
Gaming
Gaming
Tech,
News. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, he even like says, like, like, there's no information on PlayStation, or technology wise, at
yeah.
all. Like, they don't provide anything, right?
I mean,
um
that Mark Cerny interview was just like, that was more confusing. If you kind of understand, a little bit, you kind of understand that, but then you got people throwing around, well, the SSD has 6 channels, and I'm like, well, my Samsung 980 Pro doesn't have that many channels, and it runs games a little better than the internal drive, so I don't know what you're going on about, guys.
I mean, that presentation was great. Problem is that people actually didn't understand a word he said.
I know.
And I had people arguing with me about that Mark Cerny presentation, and they were like, "No, Mark Cerny said this and that," and I'm like, "No, he
Yeah.
didn't. Like, listen to it. Like,
Yeah.
listen to what he says. Don't."
Yeah.
But it doesn't work for some people, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
still don't understand it, and like, and it's kind of sad, right? But the thing is, like, I get it. If you don't understand something, don't go argue about it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I like to watch some documentaries on like, physics or some space stuff, right? About
Right.
stars and universe and that kind of stuff, right? But I'm not an astrophysicist, right? I know
Yeah.
I know I know nothing about it. So
I
I
don't think you should
will.
tell people we watch documentaries, because that's when you know you're old. Is when you start watching documentaries, man.
I love them. And
Oh god.
the thing is, like, I love to watch them, right? But I'm not
Yeah.
going to pretend that I know what they talk about. I may get overall idea of what's going on there, right? But I'm not going
Yeah.
to be arguing with people about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what people do on Twitter and in the comment sections. Like, they
Well,
know
that
shit about stuff and they keep
that
arguing in that.
yeah, exactly. That keynote or whatever that Mark Cerny did was for developers.
Yeah.
They were just nice enough to let everybody in to kind of get, like, to glean whatever they could from it. And I mean, most of the way he was talking was, like he would be talking to other developers and stuff. And I mean, there's still a lot of, like, there's still a lot of confusion about, like, just the clocks running at higher speeds. And Digital Foundry, with their video the other day about the tourist, saying, oh yeah, well, it runs at a higher speed, so it was able to produce the 8K or whatever. I'm like, dude, they probably didn't even optimize it for the Xbox to get it to run at 8K. You know what I mean? They probably didn't even care then. And they're like, oh well, look what we can do. We can make a Switch game run at 8K. I'm like, huh, okay,
I mean,
man.
Tourist wasn't that a launch title for Xbox?
Yes, it was running at
Yeah.
6K or whatever and 120 frames.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It ran fine on Xbox. It wasn't like anything really heavy or anything. Didn't the Falconeer run at 8K? Didn't they say that was coming out at 8K?
Well, there was an interview on Xbox Wire website, so official Xbox website, where a developer was talking about running that game in 60K and 8K. But then some people say that that was just like an internal test, that the actual game is not running at 8K but 6K.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, even I mean, it doesn't. I mean, like, I kind of does matter a little bit. If you're running at 8K super sample down to 4K, it does look better. But or 6K super sample down too, it does look better. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, 8K on a Switch game that doesn't really, there's like no real, yeah, I don't know, that just sounds a little
Listen,
weird.
at the end of the day, like, when people talk about that 8K and they say, "Oh, Xbox is not capable of 8K," that's bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
it
it's
says it right on the
like
chip. No, I'm
it's
just
yeah. It's like with Unreal Engine, right? I mean, when they shown this first presentation of Unreal Engine 5 running on PlayStation 5, like, all fanboys were running with the stories that, oh, so this is going to be stuff that it can only be done on PlayStation 5, right?
Oh yeah,
And
and then
then
they show the same thing on Xbox. Yeah,
yeah, and exactly, and it works on even low specs PC, no problem, right? Even on
yeah,
mechanical drive and stuff. My point is that, like, Xbox is just a more capable console, right?
right.
That's just reality of it, right? It doesn't make it a better console per se, in a sense that how you play games or what games you play and that kind of stuff, right? But, like,
Right.
technically speaking, it's just more powerful console, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to 8K or any other stuff, it's just, yeah, if PlayStation 5 can do something, Xbox can do that as well, right?
I mean, honestly, my thoughts are, if neither of these consoles can produce the games I like to play at even 4K, do I really care if the console can do 8K? I would much rather the
I
games that I
mean,
want to play.
it was just a talking point for guys, just to kind of have a win over Xbox, because
Yeah.
despite the fact that how they were downplaying the importance of specs and performance and that kind of stuff and power overall.
Yeah.
When PlayStation started running these games better, everyone was talking about it. Oh, so now it
Yeah.
matters, right? So it's just a talking point, right? And
Well,
I
I mean,
get
if
it. I get it. Like, people like to feel good about their consoles and that kind of stuff, right?
yeah,
And
I mean, at the end of the day, PlayStation is the number one selling console or whatever, right?
yeah,
I mean, so most of these developers are going to pour a lot of that R&D into making that game run good on there, and then they are going to just port them to Xbox with parity. So I mean, if they are running a little more optimized on the PlayStation 5, and they're not completely optimized for Xbox Series X until well after Digital Foundry does their initial video on it, and then we finally get to see, oh yeah, but Now it's optimized. Now it's running better, and they never go back and correct these things, and that's kind of irritating, don't you think?
Listen, just like you said, you've noticed that games that used to play bad on Xbox, now they are better, right? I mean, in terms of
Right.
performance. Even Digital Foundry, even Richard Ledbetter did say that he ran Control on Xbox again, and there's no stutter anymore, and the even performance is even better than it used to be, right? So that's
Yeah.
another game in the portfolio of games that actually runs better on Xbox than PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
And so if they revisited like many more games, they would probably find even more games like that, right? I mean,
Oh
obviously
yeah.
that's not necessarily. I mean, the point is that like moving forward, there's going to be more and more games that just run better on Xbox or like look
Yeah.
better on Xbox or offer a high resolution. Does it really matter from
From like the early games, yeah,
yeah,
it's not going
I
to
mean,
matter.
at the end of the day, like you should pick a console based on the games you like.
The games, the
Um,
community, the services that you can get,
yeah,
the
that
things
20
that
that
are,
yeah that 20% difference in performance and or like power, it's not really big of a deal, right? It's
yeah,
just
because once you see both of, I mean, once you see one of them alone in an isolated environment, secluded from the other one, you're going to be happy either way. Like it's not even going to matter if you got a PlayStation 5. Everything, the PlayStation 5 is clearly better than PlayStation 4 Pro in every other way, in every sense of the way. If you're going from, I mean, I say a lot on my channel that if you're going from Xbox One X to PlayStation 5, it's not going to be that mind blowing. But the truth is, on some of this stuff with the higher density visuals, the fidelity, that is going to stand out. Plus the 60 frames a second, but you're not going to be hitting that higher resolution like you were on Xbox One X. So in some sense, you're not going to see that big of a jump. But if you're going from PS4 Pro to PS5, yeah, that's an amazing jump. So I mean, and that's kind of the way I've been trying to take my channel a little bit. I don't want to necessarily kick PlayStation to make Xbox better, or vice versa. I do want to be fair, and I want to be able to cover PlayStation stuff when I want to, but it's not necessarily like the focus of my channel going forward, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Mostly, yeah. I don't know. Oh, I didn't know if you were like you freeze every second, every once in a while. So, so
I
does
know.
anybody have anything they want to ask? Can you help, Frog? I think you help people make informed purchases. Well, I try. That's the whole point. But so, does anybody have any questions for Mads? I usually talk to my subscribers when they're on here. That's usually what I go live for and stuff. But is there anything else you want to add?
No, not really. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, console wars are kind of fun in a sense that it's all jokes, and at the end of the day, right?
Right.
But we should really laugh it off, and I don't even know if that's actually a word, right? But
Yeah.
I may actually be, anyway. So it's not that serious, guys. I mean, buy the console you want. I've got both. Andrew has got both as well. Actually, I've got Switch as well, but I don't use it
Yep.
at all. It's my
It sits
son's.
here. It sits here.
Yeah, it's
Switch
my
it there.
it's my son's console. So,
You need to play
um,
this, Mads.
oh, is it good?
Yeah, it is freaking amazing. I mean, I
Mm.
struggle with the whole $40 price. I struggle with the $60 on those 2D games, but this one's something special. It really is.
Mm.
So if you do
Yeah,
get a chance, pick it up, give it a try. It's pretty fast
I'm.
and it feels so fluid. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised at just how good it feels.
So yeah. So anyway, guys. So yeah, I think just grab the console you like, and rest of it is not really that important, right?
Um,
Choose the console based on games, if anything.
Pony's making death threats. I know. Yeah. Those are. I'm perfectly happy with both my consoles. If I only had one or the other, I'd be completely happy. I'd be satisfied. I think we're definitely going to see some amazing things going forward this generation from both companies, from both consoles. Even Nintendo might actually get in there and surprise us. So, yeah, I'm complete agreement with Mads. Buy what you want, play what you want, enjoy games, or you could be like us and buy both, so you don't have to choose. You don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Or buy PlayStation 5 and play Xbox games via xCloud.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, Darkest Hero, welcome to the show, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm good with that. If you are,
Yeah.
I mean, we've spent way more than I thought we were going to probably only be on for like an hour, but yeah, dude, that's good, man. I had plenty to talk
Yeah, the
about.
conversation was flowing and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I gotta go, man. Anyway, so
yeah, my wife, I told her I was going to be done in an hour, and like we're already woo. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I would love to have you on sometime, another time as well. Just
yeah, no
sucks
problem.
that our time difference is so freaking
Yeah,
screwed up.
It's difficult to kind of like get together, right? Because like when you're alive, I'm kind of in a bed sleeping and stuff, right? So,
I know. Oh, when I get
so,
off work, at my real job, I get home and it's like, man, it's really late for everybody. For you, probably it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? At 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock here.
yeah.
So
It's like couple of hours difference. So yeah, that's the thing, but yeah. But hey, listen, we've got a nice thing going on here, like nice channel, cool show and stuff. You're a cool guy as well. Having
yeah,
and testing all these games, playing all these games. I think that's the most important thing, because at least you know what you're talking about, right? You play these games,
right.
you've got these systems, and you're not like one of these guys that have just talk about stuff but don't own this stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of people like that, where they basically just I'll just talk about for the sake of talking about something, right?
Yeah,
Not even
it's like
having
they
experience with it.
say they're gaming channels, but then they're like, well, yeah, I came to the party with a Nintendo NES, but yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, I've been playing games for over 35 years. I've managed a game company, like a GameStop type deal. And yeah, dude, gaming's my passion. That's what I do. I'd much rather play a video game than watch a movie. So yeah. And everybody says shout out to Mads. And yes, definitely. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I would love to do this again.
Yeah, no problem. We can have another show at some point in the future, no problem.
Yeah, maybe I'll come on your show or something,
Yeah,
if I
why not?
can make it in time. I know you've been doing
Yeah.
that. I know you've been having people on lately, haven't you?
I've gone back to like having one-on-ones and stuff, right? So I'm kind of starting that again. So it's going slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I've been following your channel since I bought that Xbox One S. So yeah, you definitely, like I said, man, you and Colt definitely helped me break down that whole fanboy mindset that I was in, and it's so easy. Like coming from managing a store, and like because my Sony rep, man, he was so generous. He was so cool. Just the way that Sony, treats their partners and stuff like that is pretty amazing. I mean, you get that high and mighty mindset, from all the interaction that you go with, and it's just kind of how the brand keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger. It's just that's part of the mindset, and I like what Xbox is doing. I like Phil Spencer's vision. I like how he wants to empower more gamers and developers to create those experiences that I love, and I'm happy to that I'm so happy with the way Xbox is going, and it definitely that vision made me it made me happy enough to actually start a YouTube channel and talk about it. So I'm glad to be there, and I'm happy
Well,
about it.
Listen, you're doing well. You just 1K subs, right? So
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
I need my mouthpiece to get bigger. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So listen, I gotta go. So thanks for the invite. Nice talking with you. You know, the conversation was flowing. That's always nice. That means
Yeah,
that's a
definitely.
good good show and stuff. Thanks to everyone for the shout out in the chat. Guys, I really appreciate that. And so I guess we'll talk at some point later as well.
All right, man. Thank you, everybody. If you're not following Mads, now is the time to be following his show because he does get more into the specs and stuff like that. And I've kind of tried to let that be for him and do my own thing. So, all right, man. We'll see you.
Take care.
Oh. All right, guys. Well, I will see you guys later. I am going to go with the wife, and I think, well, no, she's still kind of sleeping, so maybe I got a few minutes. All right. So how's everybody doing, man? Did you guys enjoy that? Oh, hold on. I can take these off now. I don't. Oh, what? Wrong button. Oh, I do not need those on anymore. Thanks, Darkest Hero. Can you guys can hear me now, right? You guys can hear me? Oh, take those headphones off. They were killing my head. Oh, thanks, Toby. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, I asked him last week if he wanted to come on, and like I was trying to plan it for last week, and then he finally got back to me and was like, okay, good, cool. Next, we're gonna try to get Colt Eastwood. I'm just joking. Wish I came earlier. Got to watch this back. Yeah, he came on right from the beginning of it, so it's been the whole time. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming and actually showing support and like sitting through this, man. There's a lot of you guys here tonight. I'm sorry I couldn't get back to all your guys' comments and stuff because it kind of just, you know, if I'm sitting there answering, you know, questions the whole time, it just kind of takes a little bit from what we're trying to accomplish, you know. So, but at the end of the day, you know, like being able to talk to you guys is the biggest reason I do these lives, so that I can come on here and hang out with you guys. Definitely informative. Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge, man, and it's because of people like Colt Eastwood and Mads Gaming that like really helped me break down that Sony wall that I had, man. Because, dude, damn, Mads Gaming, that caught me off guard. I know. Well, like I said, he's one of the guys that helped me really, watching his content really helped me break down that that bias that I had towards PlayStation. And I mean, I know that sometimes it feels like I'm building that same bias, you know, towards PlayStation from Xbox, but it's really not like that. I really am more excited about what Xbox's vision is going forward. And I mean, I'm still excited about PlayStation, just not as much as I am about Xbox. Welcome to the show, Sev. How nice of you to show up. No, I'm just joking. It was pretty good, man. Mads just left. So now you're going to have to go back and watch all the way from the beginning. When you're not looking at chat all the time, at least. I have no bias against PlayStation, just expected more from the... Yeah. I did expect... Don't worry about combo flows better when you're not looking at chat, having variety of solo and collab shows. Okay, cool. All right. I think we're on the same foot with that, all right? And because like, I mean, you guys, when you guys come to my show, you know, and we talk all the time, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm being rude and ignoring you because of the guest or something. Like I don't want you to ever feel like that. I want you to know that I do care. And when I bring people on, you know, it's just so that, you know, we can have like a conversation, you know, for you guys, because there's a lot of things that I appreciate that Mads does on his channel, that I really want to, not incorporate his exact, way of doing things, because he's more about, explaining like the different features and how they work and stuff. And me, I'm more of like the end user type kind of guy. I'm like, I do like the way I do like to get into that kind of that technical stuff and know about it. But at the end of the day, I like to see the end results more, and talk about the end results more than I do what it is to get us there. Just get both systems, play games. You only sound biased because Sony has nothing coming out until exactly, man. I mean, like you guys, I mean, I don't know if you guys watched it, but I did. I've reviewed Deathloop, I've reviewed Death Stranding, and those are amazing games. And just because Xbox has more exciting stuff going on doesn't mean that I don't like my PlayStation or what they're doing. Media bias is definitely, yeah. The Sony has more than enough mouthpieces, guys. I don't need to be another mouthpiece for Sony. They're doing just fine. Take out your guess. We are still going to be here anyway. Yeah. Sigma tip. Don't be fanboy. Be Sigma male. Be a Sigma. Yeah. That chat takes care of itself when you have a guest on. Yeah, I know. I noticed you guys were keeping it going, so that's pretty good. We know that you care. Just do your thing. Nice. Thanks, Furry Becker. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really appreciate you guys. I love the fact that you guys are always here to show support, and because of your guys' support, man, we're growing. Like, this channel is growing faster than I even thought was going to happen by this point. You put in overtime to read chat on solo shows, so it's all good. I know. Put in. Yeah, I mean, like after 5 generations of PlayStation basically doing the same thing, I mean, yeah, it does just kind of get to be more routine as opposed to exciting. And I mean, that's the way everything is. And I mean, like at this point, with Sony, yeah, it is starting to feel more routine, whereas Microsoft is starting to feel more like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's exciting. I can play an Xbox game on my phone at work when I'm on lunch. Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool. I feel like they just assumed they would own this generation too and got caught with their pants down. Yeah, pretty much. They're definitely they're definitely getting a run for their money this time, guys. Be a Sony simp, like Dreamcast guy. No, I'm getting it. Oh, dude, I'm not gonna simp for Sony, man. Even though they can be nice. Beta male energy. Yeah, that's why I put that light up there so you guys can't see my wall of virgin that much. Oh gosh. Nobody wants to be like Dreamcast guy with the opportunity and his victim mentality. Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't want to be like him, but I definitely want that many subscribers, that's for sure. Because if you have that many subscribers, the video game companies take you seriously. Then you can actually get on, then actually the game developers are like begging to send you games to play so that you can tell your community that, I don't know what frustrates me about this game. Oh man, dude, I don't know. Quadruple overnight? Yeah, I don't know. We're definitely doing this the hard way, aren't we? I don't know. Every time I put out a positive Xbox video, I get a pretty decent amount of subscribers, man. Guy called out Austin Evans like he was victimized by him, even though you put Austin's face in your thumbnail. Hey, what are you two up to? Quit pestering that dog, dude. If it bites you again, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to feel bad for your plight. You guys beat it, Toots. Yeah, take her outside, Junior. Boy. Girl. Take the dog out or I'm going to make you play Metroid Dread. Boy. Like MPG. I know he went from, I remember like, because when I started playing Xbox, I remember MDG being an Xbox guy and Crap Gamer being an Xbox guy. And then all of a sudden I start leaning more toward Xbox, and these guys are like, well, I'm going to PlayStation. I'm like, boy, Halo can't wait. Yes, dude, Halo is going to be so good. Has like negative 90 Brian cells. How does that even happen? I know. Yeah, MBG is a lot more tame compared to Dreamcast guy. I could still watch MBG. He's still he's still a good guy to watch, man. Like I wouldn't completely write him off. I feel like he'd come back around once he sees what Xbox brings to the table. Hey, Pendy, cool, run now, little shit, run now. No, go to bed, back to bed. No, much more tame. Dreamcast guy literally put his own face on his thumbnail and said Austin Evans was targeting him because Dreamcast guy's was face on his own thumbnail. Oh wow. But PlayStation is now cursed by the Crap Gamer curse. I know. What? The Crap Gamer is now a PlayStation guy, dude. So, what would you guys say if I could get MBG to come on the show? Side profile, LOL. Oh, what side profile? Oh yeah. That's new. Oh, talking to the kids and the dog. I'm not saying MBG is not a fanboy. I'm just saying he isn't as much as Dreamcast guy. Dude, I mean, I watched this video of somebody putting Dreamcast guy's comparison of like how he covered the Xbox show and the PlayStation show. And I'm like, wow, dude, that guy really is, like, even when I covered the PlayStation show, I was still pretty excited about a lot of stuff that was coming out. And I feel like my excitement level was probably more excited for the PlayStation stuff when we were doing that, because yeah, they were showing some interesting stuff, but at the same time I was like, yeah, but a lot of this stuff is coming to Xbox too, so I don't necessarily know if MBG could be cool. And I mean, turning your head to the side, oh, like, yeah, MBG is probably not gonna agree to come on the show, man. Yeah, I know. Notice how PlayStation content creators didn't talk about the CMOS battery issue, including it. I did notice that. They were more interested in talking about Xbox, which is cool. Publicity is cool, man. They're talking about Xbox, and if they're always talking about Xbox, that can only mean one thing. They are worried. They are worried that everybody else sees what they see themselves, but are afraid to admit that maybe PlayStation games aren't starting to get, they're starting to get a little boring, man. They're starting to be a little samey with better graphics. I don't know, man. But then again, like, I don't complain about that much, because I'm not even complaining about Far Cry 6 being Far Cry. You know what I mean? It's literally Far Cry, and that's a good thing, because this time they've actually managed to create one hell of a freaking story so far. I'm really enjoying it. And this world is freaking beautiful. Best looking. This is the best looking Ubisoft world creation to date. Like, I think it's freaking beautiful. I doubt he would show up here. He doesn't seem to be comfortable. Yeah, other than his own little world. Have we even seen him go on anybody else's show or do anything? Like, I was trying to get 8-Bit Eric to come on too. Kind of wanted to talk to him, but I don't know. I'm still kind of small. They don't really pay any attention to you until they feel like you're encroaching on their territory. So, maybe I can get the guy that talks to chickens and pickles. Ponies talk more about Xbox and the godly Game Pass than PS, and the fact that there's nothing to play for PS. I know, huh? They're definitely going to be doing they are going to be doing an amazing job talking up these Xbox games when it comes to Forza Horizon 5 and Halo. They're definitely going to be talking a lot about Xbox. They hate it. Yeah, for real. Also, I have no respect for anyone like MBG who just make fanboy claims behind the privacy of his camera. They make all these claims, but anytime someone has a point of view in the other direction, they hide. That's that is for the most part, man. I would like to debate. The only reason why I would like to debate like MBG and like Crap Gamer on my show is because both of those guys are former Xbox guys, and now they're like hardcore, and now they're fanboying for the other side, kind of like I was a PlayStation guy, and now I'm not necessarily fanboying, but I'm more excited about Xbox. I just would like to see how those guys would react, to a real lifelong PlayStation fan that now supports Xbox going forward, but still cares about PlayStation enough to still cover it. I would really like to see how those guys would. I would really like to see how those guys would how they would respond to that. The copium us gonna be insane with. Oh yeah, gosh, dude. Forza Horizon 5 and Halo are definitely going to turn some heads this generation, this holiday season. That's a pretty damn good lineup, if you ask me. And I know the PlayStation guys are like, "Oh, they got Forza Halo and Gears, Forza Halo Gears." Dude, like Forza Horizon is a freaking amazing game, man. I'll definitely get, yeah, Halo Infinite on PC. That would probably be a good thing. I think it would be interesting. I would even debate Dreamcast guy if he would freaking come on, man. I would love to see something like that. Rich from Review Tech, I don't really know if that would be, that might just be kind of senseless, because I see him like cover video game news, but I for as long as I've been watching that guy, I don't really think I've ever seen him play a video game. I don't know. And I don't necessarily think he reviews games that much at all anyways. So I don't know. I don't know if I should even worry about getting involved with a lot of other YouTubers. Maybe just, do my own thing and, kind of move forward with that, I do like Mads Gaming. I'll definitely bring him on, again, and, a couple of the other people that I've had on before, like Doc Dark and everything. But I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to like really track down other YouTubers to collaborate with, though. If I had the physical ability to speak myself, I would have a channel blasting people like Dreamcast Guy, MBG, JTech TV, King Thrash Gaming, and so many others. Fortunately for them, I can't speak though. Yeah. PlayStation had its banger early in the generation. Now it's Xbox's turn. That's the thing, though, Darkest Hero. Like, PlayStation did come out swinging, and it kind of fell flat because everything they were throwing at us was basically kid games and remakes and stuff. So, and like DLCs. I still consider Miles Morales to be a DLC. It was a great game. It was an amazing experience, but I still feel like it was just DLC. Well, what would they call that? Stuffed DLC? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and those games are still being played over any PS exclusive. That's true. I feel bad for the ponies who thought that Far Cry 6 would be. Oh yeah. Well, they were they were thrown astray by that amazing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that was supposedly running better. I feel bad for ponies who thought that Far Cry 6 went. Yeah, that is checkerboards for Halloween. I don't necessarily think it's checkerboard. It's just definitely lower resolution because it doesn't give you the checkerboard artifact and the artifacting in the vegetation. It just gives you it just blurs. It looks a little blurrier. The Last of Us 2 is garbage. Sorry. If I wasn't mute myself, I would put all these fanboys on blast every day. Also, with my coding job, I don't really have time for it. Yeah. Blast those fanboys. What was that? You don't have to go track these people down, just keep growing, and eventually they'll have no choice but to acknowledge you. When you get in their arena, it's inevitable. That's true, man. Definitely going to have to work on my game. PS5 games are running upscaled. Yeah, it's not upscaled. I don't call PlayStation 5 4K. It's more like Fuzz K. It's like a Fuzz K. You know, everything's fuzzy, but it still looks K. It's fuzzy, but looks okay. Fuzz K. Also, just for being a PC gamer, I feel no sentiment or loyalty to any console whatsoever. Wait, are you saying that you're a PC fanboy, Sev? No, I'm just joking. Like, PC is great, and I'm grateful that these consoles are actually pretty freaking decent, man. Like, I'm getting like a Far Cry 6. I'm getting really high resolution. I'm getting lots of fidelity. I'm getting really good ground tessellation that isn't bubbling up in front of my eyes anymore like it does on a lot of other open worlds, especially Ubisoft open worlds. I'm getting much better clarity with the Xbox version. The Dolby Vision support looks freaking amazing. I'm happy with the consoles the way they're doing right now. But like Mads was saying earlier, we're still not even really seeing anything that's built for next gen consoles. So things could potentially get much better. Sony needs to double down on multiplayer games. Yeah, they do need some. They do need some, but they need good multiplayer games. They can't just have anything multiplayer. They have to have good multiplayer games or really good co-op experiences. I'm a PC gamer, not a console gamer, so I feel no need to cheerlead for them because I gain nothing from console war BS practices. Yeah, that does make sense. At the same time, though, I do give the consoles its props when I feel like they have done something good. Sony can't do multiplayer. Their last try at multiplayer was a major fail. That's why I stick with copy and paste over the shoulder walking sims. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I do appreciate those over the shoulder walking sims. I do appreciate that I can usually beat them before the weekend is over. So that there's pretty good too. It usually turns out to be like a really good 30 to 35 hour interactive movie experience. So usually that's pretty fun. Sony can't recover from a fall. Traumatized them. I know. What was that garbage multiplayer game Sony wanted to sell for $70 again? Can't remember the name. I don't remember. Did it already come out? SOCOM Confrontation was pretty good back in the day. I really enjoyed playing that. I actually had a good time on SOCOM 4's multiplayer too. I thought that was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to play that game. The maps were pretty cool. Like I played that for a while. Sony should add Crunchyroll to PSN. Yeah, maybe. 30 hour, more like 10 hours to yeah, that's been my experience with the PS5 game so far. It's like a 10 hour. But I still haven't sat down and finished Demon Souls. And I'm working on that playthrough of Death Stranding again, but I'm trying to. The Sony controller is the biggest issue. I wanted to say thanks to management for the great streaming time. Oh, you appreciate that one or what? Oh, for coming on earlier. Yeah, no problem, Cabbage. No problem, man. Well, I think you and Mads are basically in the same time zone, aren't you? Pretty much close to. So getting him on was perfect for my my UK audience. PlayStation really pissed me off with Godfall. Oh yeah, dude, Godfall was irritating. Yeah, that was a pretty big burn. I played that. And yeah, dude, I paid full price for that game too. And I mean, visual wise, it's not very disappointing, but gameplay, it's like, man, I can't get into this or the story or anything that has it feels like a lifeless game, man. It doesn't feel like any it really does feel lifeless, like it's a PlayStation 2 game, man. Like it feels like it's designed for PlayStation 2. Now I remember Destruction All Stars. Yeah. You know what, Toby? I played that game the other day. I put it in there and I played it, and they have done a lot to change that game. The experience was a lot better than when I first played it. Back when I first got my PlayStation 5, Destruction All Stars does feel like a little bit better of a game. So I decided to keep it downloaded. But if you notice now, it's actually a $20 game in the store. All Sony's multiplayer games are garbage. And the one that I liked, Killzone, died very quickly. People just stopped playing it. Yeah. Is it really only 3 weeks away? Oh, gosh. Damn, it's getting closer. Yes. Got it pre-installed yet? No, not yet. I will probably install it a week before it comes out. Is when I'll go ahead and download that. Man, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what comes to that freaking game after launch too, man. I'm buying that $100 version so that I don't have to worry about getting any of that stuff. Yeah, like I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see what comes with that game when it launches. Because PS games are just single player story driven game at their core. They don't really do much. They really don't do multiplayer much. You know what I think would be cool if Xbox did? Like, say you buy like the $100 version of a game. I think they should throw in like a month of Game Pass or something with each purchase. That would be pretty cool if they did that. You know, kind of get people to sign up for Game Pass, you know, or, you know, throw in like a month of Game Pass if somebody buys for every game that somebody buys, you know, every first party game. Because PS gamers are just single player story driven gamers that at their core don't really do much multiplayer. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the fact that we will be able to build our own map in Forza, really, we could build our own map, dude. See, I haven't even really followed a lot of information because I don't want to see the environment like on the thing. I want to see it for myself. Like when I first crack it on, I feel like I've already seen too much of it, and I don't like that. I want to be able to see these environments for the first time natively, like sitting right here. You know what I mean? So I don't really follow a lot of the gameplay videos and stuff. To be honest, I'll only play multiplayer with friends I find online. I think our new project gets an announcement in November or December. Nice. Well, that'll be pretty cool to see. Can't wait to see what you're working on now, Sev. I need to get on there. I've been a bad chivalry player. I need to play more of that game. And you suck on that vape hard. Pipe. I know. I mean, you can, yeah, for $1. So I don't see the value in them adding it to $100 game. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, like if you buy a first party game, they should just throw in like a subscription. Oh, Frog, you can fully make your own races and game modes in Forza. I think that's where it's going to be a gameplay. Oh, yeah. It's going to be pretty fun then. Halo Infinite story mode. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to see that. I got 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate for $1. Yeah. Chivalry can drop in and out whenever you want, and you aren't really punished for taking a break from the game. It's built that way intentionally. Yeah, every time. Oh, sorry. Every time I've gotten out and gotten back into the game, I've never felt like underpowered or anything. So that's always been pretty good. I'm definitely probably out of practice right now. You know what I have noticed though on the PlayStation 5 version of Far Cry is it feels a little feels a lot more buggy. I was trying to activate my like special thing and it wasn't activating. I was like, gosh dang, man, like what the freak? Why can't I use this? And that was pretty bad. Sure, you can drop it. Oh, well. So have you guys been enjoying that stream of Far Cry 6, or should I just kind of give up on that? 3 months of Game Pass for $1. Bruh, someone call the cops. Hello. Chorizo at all costs. I know. I think that little dog's kind of cool. I like the alligator though, for sure. It will be good for current subscribers to get additional free month though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like every get a free month if you buy a full price Xbox first party game. It would just help me stock up on my free months, man. That's all I want. I'm being selfish about it. That would be the. I usually buy 5 months of Xbox Live Gold. So you let your thing lapse all the time or what? Yeah, I had 3 years when I signed up for that, and I'm about to run out now in. Well, actually, I ran out in June, and I've just been paying the $15 a month now lately. I haven't been watching the Far Cry 6 streams because I plan to play it myself and don't want it spoiled. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing. That'd probably be the best thing because there's a lot of spoilers that I've already showed in those streams. But it's funny because I've been playing. I've got about 12 hours of gameplay. A little more than 12 hours of gameplay in my version on Xbox, and I've already caught back up to where I am on the PlayStation playthroughs because I've just been going straight through and doing everything. Whereas on the Xbox, damn, stop yawning, sir. Get a coffee. I know, huh? Man, I can't. Mama's sleeping right now. She's taking a nap, or I'd ask her to go get me a coffee. Stop yawning. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I apologize for my tiredness. I pay full price now for it. I don't plan on trying to get it cheaper. Happy to pay. Yeah, full price is actually not a bad deal. I was just thinking, for like other people's and stuff. I do kind of want my free months every time I buy a $100 game though. It would be nice. Damn, I can actually get 3 months of Game Pass for 98 cents on my end, bro. Nice. Do it, man. If you can get 3 months, do it. Sigma status. Gosh dang. Well, you know what? We've all been broke before, man. I've definitely been on the broke side. I'm actually kind of feeling a little broke right now, man. After all these games I just bought, dude, I've spent like 400 in just the last month in video games. I've spent over $1,000 now. That's just the last month, dude. I've bought double copies of games on PlayStation and Xbox. I bought I spent $400 on an SSD for the PlayStation. I bought, no, that's been longer than a month since I bought that, but all the games I bought, oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. We're at about $1,000 just in games in the last month, games and storage to put those games on because I buy them digitally, but it's really cool if it helps you get it. Another way, the more people who has it, the better. Yeah, the more people that sign up for Game Pass, the better. Man, I really do got to stop yawning. And I did drink a coffee earlier, but it's all gone now. I need to go fill my cup back up. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go. If there's more coffee in there, I'm just gonna fill it up so I can quit yawning. Sojitos. Hey, little people. Are you guys eating ice cream? Oh boy, quick Robert's chair. LOL. I know, huh? Ooh man, sorry guys. I needed. There's not much, but there's enough. Some nice black coffee, so good. So it is. So it 10 to 15 a month. Then that is 300 million plus. Yeah, dude, they're making a lot of money just on subscriptions. LOL. Good day. Welcome to the show, Mr. Train. Oh, from 18 million to 30 million. That's crazy. Yeah, if they really do have 30 million, that is pretty good growth. That's definitely grown faster than my YouTube channel. That leaked 30 million subs for Game Pass unconfirmed. Yes, it's definitely unconfirmed. It's crazy to think about it. I mean, that's 300 million a month, man. Microsoft know how to make money, bro. Sony has only now caught on. Yeah, it's going to take Sony a little while to kind of catch up for that. But I don't necessarily think it's going to take a long time for Sony to catch up because Microsoft has already paved the way. So now all they got to do is offer that service and people will buy into it. I mean, just like with, yeah, dude, is all Sony has to do is rip that Band-Aid off and people are going to flock into the PlayStation. Like it, Microsoft's already done all the hard work. And if Sony does do it and everybody gets into it, yeah, dude, I really think that people should thank Xbox for bringing Sony to the table. I always struggle to understand why some people can't see how Microsoft make money off it. Yeah, I don't understand too. Like that behooves me. A lot of those games are old. They're already past their prime of making money. So if they're already like nobody's buying them and they're putting them on Game Pass and people are downloading them and playing them for a fee, isn't that making money off stuff that already not making money anymore? You're still continuing to generate income off of stuff that is not making money. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Oh, they'll soon reach 50 million subscribers. Take-Two CEO suggested if they got to 100, 200 million subs, he would consider putting games in their day and date. That would be where, I mean, like you understand why they talk about 100 to 200 million subs is because 100 to 200 million subs is just straight 1,000% profit, 1,000% profit monthly if they have that many subs. So, I mean, that many subs gives Microsoft enough money to literally pay for to pay for high-level Grand Theft Auto 6 games and still have plenty of money in the bank. You know, I mean, 100, 200 million subs is enough for them to literally cut Take-Two Interactive a check to say, yeah, man, well here you go, because nobody's going to buy this game once we put it on Xbox Game Pass, but here's your money up front. You don't even have to wait 5 years to sell through all the copies that you were going to sell through because you get it day one. And that's why people like Take-Two and Activision and everybody else are still on the fence about it. But EA is smart. They're like, yeah, dude, 6 months after our games come out and stop selling, yeah, we'll throw them on Game Pass. We'll throw them on EA Play. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Sony could definitely afford to go down that road because if 100 million PlayStation people are paying $10 a month to play those games, they're already, dude, they would be way over generating. $70 per game at 10 to 20 million. I mean, yeah, 50 million subs alone is 1,000 is like 500% freaking profit. Seriously, it's plenty of profit. And they talk about 100 to 200 million subs because they want like it to be like a residual, like being able to like everybody dip their beak in the well. You know what I mean? Like at 30 million subs, Xbox is more than breaking even and being able to support paying out, developers to put their games on Game Pass. At 200 million subs, that would be phenomenal for them, for everything in the Xbox community. It would be revolutionary. Like that would be so much profit, they wouldn't know what to do. Just like with Netflix, so much profit, they literally find ways to pay money to build more content. You know what I mean? Like that's just what they do. They have so much leftover income that they can just fund whatever programs they want, and build seasons of shows. Yeah, well, nobody's buying the games on it. It doesn't matter if they're not buying them on Xbox, man. They're still playing them though, and they're still paying for them one way or another. They're still paying for it. Imagine making $1 billion in 2 months. I know, that's pretty insane. Like, yeah, dude. Microsoft isn't like footing the bill anymore for Game Pass. It's actually self-sufficient now. Like instead of them buying a console for 8-year-old, get them a controller and a $20 dongle and Game Pass, and you're golden. Yeah, exactly, man. Like that's the future of parents being able to give their kids this entertainment, like movies and CDs or music or whatever. You know what I mean? Natively through a smart TV. I think you probably can. Maybe I should try that because I think mine has a web browser. Scarlet Nexus being on Game Pass was yeah, exactly, dude. That's like, woo boy, that's a damn good game, and it's only like 3 months old, 4 months old, maybe. Oh yeah. Are we going to talk about the fact that Xbox has a 300 billion budget? I know. Yeah, they can do whatever they want gaming wise. What Xbox needs to deliver the most is them high quality first party games, man. They start delivering that, and Game Pass becomes even more of a value. The better the games get, the better the value. Most PlayStation players are casual, like FIFA, MLB. Yeah, exactly, dude. A lot of people on PlayStation. I know so many people, Pixel, that literally buy PlayStation consoles to play Madden, to play freaking NBA 2K, to play those sports games. And it's just what they've always done. So they've always done that. There's no reason for them to change that. It's complaining that Sony studios don't sell. I mean, yeah, you could also look at it that way. He's like, well, I got 120 million consoles out there, and my PlayStation first party games are just not selling that great. Dude, there's a secondhand market. Your games are getting played by a lot of people. Game Pass on a fridge. I know, just sitting there playing that Samsung TV, man, or the Samsung fridge. Yeah. Sony has more money than Microsoft. They're just hiding it. Yeah, where are they hiding it though, Toby? Oh yeah, you're right. They spend all that money to make all these senseless products. All these senseless. Sony used to be a top name brand for everything, dude. Cell phones, Walkmans, everything. Like Sony was a king back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, and now Sony is barely breaking even. While Samsung is definitely taking over a market that Sony used to comfortably control. Like them Sony Trinitron TVs when they came out back in the day were freaking top notch, man. Sony was a beast back when I was younger. 20 million sales is a success on Sony, yeah. Game Pass has the ability to get your game played by 30 plus million players. Game Pass has the ability it has the ability to get games played more. Game Pass also works as advertising, man. Like All somebody has to do is play that one game, man. Play that game, that Assassin's Creed, and then they're hooked for the series for life, and they're buying those games every time they hand over fist when they come out. That's been me. Every time an Assassin's Creed game drops, I buy it day one. I do not wait. See that their high point of the year was to platinum a game. Wow. Man, I play so many games that going out of my way to platinum them is just ridiculous for me, dude. I don't have enough time. I do not have enough time to sit and play that game to its ultimate conclusion because I'm playing something else right after I beat that. I like being able to buy a new game and beat it over the weekend. That's kind of the way I like to do it. Since I started this channel, though, I have been buying more games that I normally probably wouldn't have bought. Like Life is Strange. I would have never bought that game, but I bought it so people could see it. And let's see, man. Let's see where we're at with views on that review for that. Life is Strange. 134 views. Yeah, more people need to watch that so they can buy that game. It's true though. A fall game comes out on a Game Pass like service, the second-hand market is gone. Yeah, it's completely gone, dude. GameStop is back to selling Nintendo games. Nintendo and PlayStation games for sure, dude. Those two companies will keep GameStop alive for years to come. When you can afford, yeah, exactly. When you can afford more games, you don't have to platinum. That's for sure. I've only platinumed 8 games out of the 100 games I own. Out of the 600 games I own, Toby, I've platinumed 1 game. Out of the probably. Do you think no, I probably haven't played 100,000 games, but I probably played close to like 20,000 games easy over my lifetime. Well, no, maybe not even that many. Maybe 10,000 games. That's a lot of games. Yeah. No, maybe not that many. Maybe that's still shooting kind of high because a PlayStation only had less than 5,000 games on the PlayStation 1. I think the PlayStation 2 had, and I know I didn't play all of those. I would say like 8,000 games maybe. I platinumed to one game, and that was Life is Strange, and that was a couple weeks ago. So I'm really happy about that achievement, you guys. That makes me a true gamer. No, not to mention that I doubt we'll see physical games next generation. Maybe they might get rid of them. Don't Microsoft own port of GameStop? No, they're in business with them for sure. That PS5 cancer curing SSD. Oh man, is the dawn of a new age. Very underrated and underappreciated. Tech Sony needs to be recognized for their godlike creation. No, high five, guys. High five. I have some very concrete evidence that this will be the case, that they will want to push mostly digital next generation. I do believe that. I've seen games launching digital only already. So are trophies really any better than Xbox achievements, like Sony gamers say to me? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're the same thing on. I mean, I know that you get more money. I know that you get more real world money for your Xbox achievements than you do your PlayStation trophies. But I run a business. I don't have time to platinum games. Yeah, exactly. Only platinum games I truly love and I'm obsessed with. I think games with DLC make more sense on Game Pass instead of paying $70 plus DLC. Yeah. I'm even okay to support like in-game stores for Game Pass games. What is a hardcore gamer? They couldn't answer that question. Mr. Train, honestly, I think only hardcore gamers play Animal Crossing, bro. If you don't play Animal Crossing, you're not a hardcore gamer. Sorry, man. You have to play that game. It was brought to my attention that worldwide the internet has spread to over 70% of the world already, so it makes sense. Nice. That is pretty good. If we're at 70%, that's awesome. So if we get to 100%, like everybody in the world can have access to the internet, then That would be good. SSD isn't even new tech, lol. I know, it's been around for a long time. SSD on PC for over 8 years now. I know digital games are absolutely the way to go. Just look at PC. Yeah. I bought DLC for games I don't actually own because I play the base games off the Game Pass. Yeah. Usually if I buy DLC on a game, I end up buying the game. Because you never know. I might one day decide that my buying habits don't really necessarily need to have a Game Pass subscription. I don't know. So far, that hasn't been the case. I've definitely played more games that I normally wouldn't. Do they even make physical games on PC anymore? Never tried to platinum? Nice. Isn't 30% of the sea, the Earth like sea anyways? No, 70% of the Earth is sea. So we only theoretically need 30%. And if we're at 70, we're doing pretty good, man. That means fish can stream. I ain't playing Animal Crossing. You can't make me. Hello, I looked at my hours. PSO2 a few months back. Oh, Phantasy Star Online 2, 55 days. New Genesis has nothing new. So I started playing my Game Pass games. I've gone from 30,000 to 75 in 2.5 months. Nice. Yeah, I think I've got like 18 or 19 days on Black Desert Online, man. That's a lot, dude. That is a lot for me for a game. There was a slow time that I played a lot of that game. 1 year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is a little over $100 to get hundreds of games. One on PS5 for 70. Yeah, dude, you can get a whole year of games for the price of 2 PlayStation games. Yeah, dude, hundreds of games for the price of 2. No, the C is 70%, so we have that covered already. Yeah, I know. At least thanks to PlayStation gamers, the world will never run out of salt. Yeah, that's great too. No, you cannot buy physical games on the PC. Not anymore. Nice. I would play Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 though. You can actually go buy a box with some art, but inside there is no disc. It's just a download code. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, they used to do. I've played one PC game. That was Need for Speed Carbon. I actually did have that game on PC and I played it because my old laptop, it actually ran that thing pretty dang good, man. But I don't have that laptop no more. They give you a physical disc with the PC game, but most have a code to authenticate the game. At least that's how SC2 is. And you have to go to Steam, EA Origins, or Uplay or whatever to redeem the codes you find in that disc. Oh, okay, I see. Ew, oh, I see. We'll get it now. I completely understand. Wow, so much for this being a 1 hour stream, huh, guys? Woo, this conversation's been pretty good though, man. It feels good to get on here and just talk because, yeah, man, I've been driving myself nuts with these games, man. Playing through Far Cry 3 though, or Far Cry 6 has been really fun. I am really loving this story. It is really good. I definitely feel like this is the most gritty experience for Far Cry that I've ever had. It's been fun. It's been great. I do recommend this game. But be warned, this is Far Cry. It plays like a Far Cry game for sure. So if you're expecting them to reinvent the wheel for Far Cry, I don't know, man. I have a physical disc for Resident Evil 2 Remake on PC. Oh, nice. It can get stolen, lost, scratched, or it could just be downloaded. Yeah, dude. See, I'm all about the digital. I really do like the digital, and I'm glad that I was able to switch over to digital because now I appreciate the games that I buy even more, man. I do. I don't feel like I have to rush through them anymore. I can play them at my leisure. I can enjoy them, and they're always there when I need them. When I need them to be. If like my house burnt down and my consoles burnt down or broke, or somebody stole my consoles, I still have all my games when I buy a new console, man. That's just there's enough benefits to buying digital that outweigh having a physical copy of it. There just are. Also, what I find odd is when I hear people talk about loving physical games and not liking digital, but then they are perfectly fine having massive Steam libraries. Oh, I know, huh? Go figure. Haven't played Far Cry since 3. You could probably skip. Well, 4 was pretty good, but I didn't finish that. I do have a reason to finish it now, though, because I can play it at 60 FPS. But other than that, why do you even have a disk drive? It's a waste of time to add one to the PC. I know. I don't have one on my laptop. Wonder if Xbox will remake 007 now that they got Perfect Dark coming back. That would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool. I only got it for collection's sake. I didn't open it. I have a digital version on Steam. Nice. You can literally play all the games out there without a disc at all. And once the game is installed on the PC, you don't need the disc anymore anyway. They did remake it, and it never launched, by the way. Oh, yeah, there was some people that remade that. I don't think they were actual. I don't think they actually had the rights to it, but it was a fan remake. Yeah, I don't think they had the rights to it in the first place. They did remake it, though. The 007 license would cost too much. Yeah, especially now, huh? Collecting PC physical copies of games, and that is just a waste of time. Nobody on the PC sees value in physical games on the PC. Actually, I can't remember the last time I got a disc for a PC game, League, WoW, etc. It's cold. Wait, damn, that sucks. So unless you bought it just to have something to look, I know, so that you can show off your wall of Virgin, man. Oh, fan made. I used to like. I don't know, man. I guess some people just feel better if they have something physical in their hands. They feel more. Oh man, I'm superior because I have this collection of plastic everywhere. I'm gonna run along, get some sleep, sir. All right, Pixel, you have a good night, man. You enjoy your sleep at 3:31 p.m. in the afternoon. I thought I was an old man. No, I'm just joking. You're probably up. You guys are probably up pretty late. You can play it on PC, but it's a bootleg version, but it was scheduled to come out on 360, I believe. Oh, yeah. Oh, it wasn't fan made? I thought it was fan made. I thought they were doing something just recently, actually. Resident Evil. I'm a Resident Evil simp. I know, dude. I've been playing Resident Evil since the first one, so yeah, I usually buy those games day one. Hit that like button, folks, by the way, and be lucky. Yeah, I need all the likes I can get, man. Hey, man, you do whatever you wish. I'm just, I understand. We all revert back to cartridge gaming. Yeah, cartridge gaming was pretty freaking intense. Xbox has spoken, or Digital Foundry has spoken. It was Rare who made it. Yeah, Rare did make that original 007, I believe. Bring my girl home to show her my giant wall of colorful plastic. And then she leaves. She's like, I don't date gamers. Oh, man. And he's like, dang it. Now I got to try again, man. I don't even buy physical DVDs anymore. Yeah, I don't do it anymore either. I just watch them once and never again. So what's the point of buying them and owning them? I do buy digital every once in a while. I got a pretty good collection of digital movies that I can download if I ever need to. Oh, Oh yeah, that's why that's the only physical PC I own. This guy own. With the prices of SSD dropping to its lowest points in history, I could see the cartridge making a comeback actually, since solid state storage is so cheap now. LOL, I was on about notifications. I'm in the UK, by the way. It's 10:30. Oh, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time, Pixel. Oh, I know. Like I got a pretty decent UK following. 10%, 10% of my following is UK, and I'm surprised, man. I really didn't think anybody in the UK would care about anybody that in America doing whatever. No, they make the remake Frog also. Oh, Rare did make the remake. I did not know that. I thought it was. I honestly thought it was some other, just developers that were just having a good time with it. I did not realize that Rare was involved in that in any way. But girls play games all the time, just not video games. No, actually, 45% of the world, 45% of girls now actually identify as gamers. My daughter's a gamer. Damn, I need a bigger wall then. Yes, you're going to need a way bigger wall. I just downloaded the movies and saved them to the storage. Yeah, because bigger is better. Check my playlist, UK. How's it going, man? Yeah, I'm surprised, man. Like I'm grateful, honestly, that how far are you on Alan Wake so far? I am only as far as I was playing the other night. I was planning on my whole playthrough of that game is going to be on stream. So yeah, I'm chapter 3. I'm just starting chapter 3. Actually, maybe I've played a lot of Far Cry this weekend. Maybe I should do. I'm gonna do my my playthrough of Alan Wake during the week when I get home from work. I will just play through some of those chapters because I want to spend the rest of my time today after I'm done with the stream just playing Far Cry. I'm really enjoying that game. I'm really into it, and I want to keep going. I've been playing through Far Cry on my Xbox, and then I'll jump over on the PlayStation and I'll stream everything that I've played through. I'll complete like some stuff on the Xbox, and then I'll jump over on PlayStation and recomplete that so that I actually know what I'm doing, so I don't look like an idiot when I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It's pretty cool that way. Said till I can get 3 terabyte SSD for under $200, I won't consider it cheap. Yeah. That would be nice, man. I just paid $400 for two terabytes, dude. That's getting ridiculous, man. But dude, as many games as I buy, I need that storage because I need to be able to get on those games and play them when I want to. Yeah. Streaming and downloading. It definitely makes things easier. Do mobile gamers count? Yeah, they definitely count. No way those don't exist, Frog. They do. They do. Check my playlist. Thumbs up. 8 years ago when they first came out, it would cost over 4,000. Yeah, dude, I remember when like computers were first coming out, like 32 megabytes was like $40,000, dude. Gosh. Right now, 8K TVs cost as much as a car. Eventually, they will consider normal. Yeah, exactly. Pretty soon, we'll be getting a Vizio 8K for like $500, dude. That's when I'll be upgrading. Yeah, 4K is perfect. It's more than enough clarity for me. I don't see needing 8K to enhance my experience in any way. Yeah, 8K just to render the render budget for 8K is so much that like, dude, I do not want to play 8K games at freaking 10 frames a second, dude. I wouldn't want to do that. I used to play KOA on mobile and then sold my account once I got level 30. Mobile games are way too expensive. I know, huh? Shit's ridiculous. I upgraded from my LG CX to an LG C1. Nice. Okay, it was a waste of resources. Yeah, dude, definitely worth it for me, anyways. Yeah, I'm happy with this Vizio. I definitely feel like I should have bought that CX, but I'm pretty happy with what I got. And Vizio is committed to upgrading to all of those that's what they said. We are committed to upgrading for the gamer, blah blah blah. So whatever. So I'll eventually be able to do the Dolby Vision at a 120 hertz with my game mode enabled. So probably gonna take 6 years, but we'll get it eventually. Microsoft, crazy to think Microsoft saved Apple. I know. Only 8 years ago, OLED was OLED was 20K. Yeah, exactly. When VR turns into Sword Arts online, I'd probably never go back to work again. I know. How much will a console that runs native 8K cost? We'll probably be able to get it for $500 in 10 years. Yeah, I never got into Sword Art Online. I've checked it out a couple of times, but I never pulled the trigger on it. So, yeah. You can get an 8K TV for about $950. It's not that expensive. Yeah, I know. I've seen them for like $1,500 or $2,000 or something. I have seen them. Frog, you just getting off? What's up? Oh no, what are you talking about? I've been on for 3 hours now. Oh, and the concept behind so is cool. No, not yet. Sword Art Online is just a copy of a much better older anime called Hack, though. Yeah, I remember Dot Hack. $900 for I wouldn't get mad for $900. I think if they do 8K and like it's going to be $1,000 console, man, easy. Because phone games, yeah. What's the point of an 8K TV? And I was just saying, I'm just getting off work. Oh, I see. Yeah, man, you missed Mad's Gaming, man. Oh, Sword Art is far darker than Hack. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, we almost had 2 hours with Mad's Gaming on, man. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm just grateful that he came on and hung out with us today for a while, man. That's really cool of him. He's a pretty busy guy. For him to give us almost 2 hours was pretty amazing. I was only thinking he was going to be on for about an hour, but the conversation was actually pretty good, man. We got a lot said and talked about a lot. Dragon Ball Z is my goat. Is the goat. Nah, that's all. Shit, you sound like my dad when 1080p came out of LOL. I know. Dude, I don't know about the freaking 8K guys. I mean, yeah, dude, I love new technology as much as the next person, but 8K, I can't even get native 4K movies, yet. Like that are native, that are actual native, that aren't with the oh gosh dang it, with the computer rendered stuff, they're not rendering that. It's only 2K. Shadow says shattered rainbows. People die, and there are scenes of torture and hack. Oh wow. Twitter snowflake gets triggered about who's a Twitter snowflake? Static Fox, welcome back. Embrace a Group has 77 studios, movie saws. Oh wait, gotta go back up. Movie saws have 40. Why do people get upset with Microsoft when they only have 20? Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know why people are upset with Microsoft because they're buying the studios. 8K TV has at some point that a current 4K TV has. Way more detailed right now, though there isn't a point in having an 8K unless you have 8K content. Yeah, exactly. There's just not a lot of 8K content. Who is that Mads guy, Frog? Mads Gaming. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you're just kidding, man. Cabbage. I will have a projector that can just hologram my buds into the room. Yeah, exactly. Sword Art Online and anime in general is better than cartoons. I know, man. I'm just kidding. Everybody's Group has 77 studios. Ubisoft has 40 studios. Why do people get upset at Microsoft? Just because of the fact that Microsoft is just buying them. Oh, Doc Dark, what's up, my friend? Damn. I meal prep, watch a documentary about something controlling Britney Spears. Did dishes, came back, and you still on? Oh, you still, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Dude, this has been a pretty good stream. There are multiple dot hacks. Not 100%. People are mad at Microsoft because they wish their preferred company could do the same. I know. Is Doug trying to get in again? I don't know. No, he's just been popping in and out of the stream today because I've been going for like 3 hours. Just kidding about what I said to Jet. Oh, I do not know who that guy was. Good games are coming fast. They're going to be on Game Pass. There's levels to this. There's levels to everything. It's like an onion. Oh, man. They're going to be on Game Pass. I know. Yo, you can't do that online. What's in that thing? It's just regular vape juice, man. Like grape apple. It's not that, Sav. I don't do that. Nope. What's up, Wendell? It's about time you get here, man. It's the vape pen. It's the tea. No, that stuff's killing people, man. Don't you know? It's bad for those people. What's up, Wendell? How's that Far Cry treating you, my friend? I know you've played some now. And after watching my stream, you know exactly what to do, so you should be caught up to where I am. Because I've only got a little over 4 hours. Lungs of Steel. Heard Sony getting exclusive rights to new Silent Hill being made. Not sure if it's true or not. I think that wasn't Bluebird Team doing a Silent Hill project with Konami? So someone tell me who that Mads Gaming guy was then, LOL. Oh, you really don't know who Mads Gaming is? Mads Gaming News Channel. He does a lot of Xbox stuff. Vaping is bad for people in general. I used to smoke for like 25 years, and I feel a lot better now that I started vaping. I feel a lot better. Game Pass has saved me so much money. The games I beat so far was easily worth a year of service. Yeah. Just looking at that list, Xbox has way more games coming than PS5. It's crazy to think people still saying Xbox has no games. I know. We've actually talked about that. Where Jeff? Did we upset him? Yeah, I haven't seen Jeff for a while, man. We were just talking about that the other day. Next Doom game when? Ooh, boy. Yeah, I mean, we are getting pretty close to a new Doom. I've searched him. He has 20K subs. I know who he is. Oh, okay. Bro, Witcher 3 is the truth. I think I'm going to play God of War 2018 next to compare. I heard it one game of the decade or something. Yeah, dude. I think Witcher 3 is definitely a better experience than God of War is pretty damn good. Like the way it's put together is pretty damn good, but I still believe that Witcher 3 is probably a better game overall in terms of gameplay. And play through Witcher 3 again, Doc, and then you'll really understand what makes that game special. I hope that's not true. I hear Sony may have locked in a Metal Gear Solid remake. If Sony locks in a Metal Gear Solid remake, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I don't necessarily think, especially if it's the first one, then yeah, I would be okay with that being locked into to an exclusive for like a timed exclusive or whatever. But I do think that they should put that on more consoles because more people would definitely play that. And Konami would have a lot to say about that. So at the end of the day, it would be good. Did you see the interview where the Sony developer said big changes were coming after the Jim Ryan interview you reacted to? I have not seen that one either. PlayStation has no games right now. I'm trained, so he has no arguments he could possibly win. Add that to all PS5 games coming to PCs. He probably has got nothing to say. Xbox need a DualSense feature controller and more God of War like games. I would be okay if they brought haptic feedback to the Xbox controller, and they definitely do need some more first-party games. So now there's some vape juice with no nicotine, right? Yeah, there definitely is. I vape the lowest nicotine level. That's what I started with, and that's where I've stayed. So it's been fine. Jeff isn't going to show up here because PlayStation has no games till next year. Xbox just need more games for Game Pass. Sony Ponies gonna cry and come for Jim. Ryan's head. Yeah, that's almost everything you do is bad for you, even red meat. Yeah, exactly. But I don't live in California, so I should be fine, guys. Has anyone watched the new BMF series on Stars? I haven't. Without nicotine, the vape juice itself is usually glycerine, which isn't good for your lungs anyways. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, it's PG and VG. Well, now I know that. Nope, I have not watched that at all. Wendell, what's BMF? BMF. F on Stars. Ubisoft games and Game Pass or Crystal Dynamics Studio. That would be pretty freaking cool. Crystal Dynamics is Square Enix, so that would mean that I don't know if that would mean Xbox having to buy all of Square Enix or if they would let them buy that one company for the. I have no idea. Oh, good games are coming fast. Yes, good games are. They are going to be coming. But in 3 weeks, man, we're not going to be questioning Microsoft not having no games. It's going to be all over from there. You ever heard of Big Meech? I haven't. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, Wendell. It's been years since I've watched a lot of movie content. I would be pissed if Xbox brought out a DualSense controller. I don't want that vibration ruining my battery. I would be okay with it if it was an optional thing. If it was packed in with the console, I don't know, but if I could just buy one, that would be cool. I would buy one. Yeah, we have to be able to blow on the controller too, man. Me and Sev in January, I take that whole week off for Elden Ring. I know, I'm not interested in the stupid haptics either. Just a gimmick to me. The triggers is more of like the gimmicky thing for me, guys. The haptic feedback actually does kind of feel cool sometimes, but the triggers, no, I don't really want those on an Xbox controller. I would buy an Xbox when those games are on PC. Keep that same energy when all those PS games go to PC family. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much everyone loves or prefers the Xbox controller. Yeah, the Xbox controller is great. I mean, it was already a perfect. Big Meech is a real life gangster from. Oh, I see. And that's the BMF thing. Okay. Xbox controller is better for everything except fighting games. I think the PlayStation controller is good for Dark Souls games too, though. I think it feels pretty good on those. Why buy an Xbox when those games are on PC? Yeah, exactly. We're going to be asking the PlayStation guys that pretty soon, man. When PS announces day and date PC releases, I'm going to go annoy Sony Ponies so much. What's wrong with you, dog? The dog's making weird noises. Kind of blacklist, I guarantee. Exactly. Tell me when PS games comes to PC, it actually makes more sense to have an Xbox because at least you get on Game Pass. Yeah. You guys don't like the haptic? and or the adaptive trigger. I don't really care much for the adaptive triggers, Wendell, but the haptics I do kind of think are all right. I think they're all right. I don't really care for the triggers though. Saw a guy make an argument saying that game devs would be less interested to make a game on Xbox due to Game Pass. Why would they be less? That doesn't make any sense. Game Pass is amazing. Even developers like Game Pass, they're getting behind it. Maybe not day and date, for some of them bigger guys, but it's definitely how should I use Sunny Bunny? Real winner of your fake console war is not a console, it's the PC. I play FPS games mainly, so vibrations are off. Oh, okay. I see. King Trash tried to debate me in his comment section. I simply told him to tell me Xbox is bad or PS5 is better. Got good salt that day. Nice. I was just soaking up the salt, man, and it was great. True, you can cross save and stuff. Well, all right, guys. Well, I am going to go get me some food and play some more video games because I got to go back to work tomorrow. So you guys have a good night. Thanks for coming. This was a really good chat. Really appreciate having Mads Gaming on. And all the support you guys have given is freaking amazing. The haptics feel great. Oh, boy. We got Thrash to say Game Pass was a great service. Yeah, that's true. We do have that on recording. The haptics feel great, and the way Sony really made Spring feel great. I mean the Xbox has springs in those in the things too. It feels pretty good. Wendell. Playroom. Astro's Playroom did feel great. PC wins. Both have Xbox and PS games. It's like I fear the adaptive triggers could crack sooner or later. Yeah. Good night, Mr. Train. I'm telling you, though, if Game Pass gets to 50, 60 million subs, we're coming day and date. Yeah, exactly. Y'all, I'm going to head out. See you, guy. See you, Cabbage. You guys have a good night, man. I'm going to play me some games, get me some food, and figure out Windows 11. How come we still have no membership options on this channel? We have one case of they said it's in review right now, Sev. Said it could take up to a month. But once we get there, go ahead and get those set up for you guys. Appreciate it. And you guys have a good day. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking too much. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it.